Hello, everyone, and welcome to another match preview on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie, and I'm your host for this evening. I have to be honest, guys, I'm slightly concerned about this upcoming fixture against Bournemouth. They've been in sensational form this season, and the way they blitzed Nottingham Forest 5-0 last week, for me, that was a statement win. So all I can say right now is we need to be on top of our game and make sure we show them the levels this weekend. So to preview the game, it was only right that I bring in another fellow Red to discuss the game. Everyone, please welcome my good friend Double D. Double D, how's it going, my bro?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. As you know, always. Just here, man. Just here. But as you said yourself, I'm a little this fixture. What both of them do, to be honest, because regardless of what form Everton are in, they like to raise their game against us. So Don Moyes at the helm now, and he has an awful record against Liverpool. Going
He never
back.
beat us, did he?
I don't think he ever beat us, did he?
No,
If he did,
he
it
never
was
beat
once.
us.
If he did, it was once. It was. Oh no, I think he beat us once, didn't he? Was it 3-0 at Goodison when Andy Johnson?
But I think the record also where he's never beaten us at Anfield as well.
Yeah,
But
away.
yeah,
Yeah. It's away, definitely.
yeah,
Obviously, this is at their turf, isn't it? It's at
yeah.
last one at Goodison before they move to their new stadium. Well, let's hopefully they'll be in the championship playing in that stadium next season. You get me? But
It was crazy about the Everton thing that you just mentioned, actually, because I watched the last couple of games that they played. Some of the players are trying to play like prime Ronaldinho, like and Day, like he's been like he's turned up all of a sudden. And then you got what's his name, Calvert Lewin, twisting and turning
hey, packing
to
it
around.
after he hadn't scored for like 16 games or something like that.
Years, man. So you don't know what he's
Watch
gonna
him
turn
turn
up
into
to though.
prime Brazil when we come, but now ball before him, he did. And I think the fact that we're obviously going to get into it more in depth,
Yeah,
but I think the fact that they haven't got a striker actually makes them
yeah,
more
yeah.
dangerous
It's
because
very true.
the players are going to drop into pockets and they're going to be swapping positions, moving around. And like, there's been as good as we've been defensively in most of the games, there's been some games where it's come like Trent's laboured running back and Kanate was rushed back. And then the funny thing is, when Kanate was out, Gomez played well and we were still conceding goals. So then you have to look at Virgil, though Virgil has been good, very good in most of the games. Because some games it's come like Virgil's defended by himself in the whole back line. Like he's
Yeah,
being
it's
dragged
true.
from the left centre back spot to make interceptions at the far
Yeah,
post on the right side. It's all it's mad, man. It's mad. So we
yeah.
got to
He's
be on
been
job.
covering a
We
lot
got to
of
be on
ground,
job.
but even for Robertson as well, because Robertson's been out of position on numerous occasions, and he's
Yeah,
like trying to cover his position as well. So it's been like it's been a bit disjointed at times, to
yeah.
be honest with you. So yeah, I do agree. I feel like it's something we need to address going forward. Hopefully, Joe Gomez is back in training. I don't know if he'll be involved, but we'll touch on that later on the show. But
Everton, though, because obviously that, or maybe even Tottenham,
yeah,
but yeah, I think Everton is the most realistic for a
yeah,
bit.
that'd
Or
be a good
maybe
one.
even the cup game actually. Maybe even Plymouth in the cup.
Yeah,
Trent will be back,
easy
man.
game to get
So
into,
not
isn't
Trent,
it, in terms of transition?
but yeah, Gomez did well, man. Like he should never, like he said himself in the interview that he was very close to leaving, but like he settled the fam and whatnot. He should we should be trying to keep Joel. 'Cause his versatility, being able to play anywhere across the backline, it's
Mm.
needed, man. You get me? But I don't know how they can look at the squad slot and say that they're cool. I know you're going to cuss Richard Hughes later anyway when we get to certain bits, but I don't know how they can all look at the squad and think that that squad is cool. When you look at the team we played yesterday, we've made changes. We've got Robbo who can barely play left back, the form he's in at the moment. playing as a left-sided centre half. That tells you all that there's not enough bodies there. But
Yeah, we'll touch on that in a little bit more detail because yeah, you already know what I'm going to say about Richard Hughes. So let's talk about the good things first. So let's talk about the current team right now. So the last time we did a show together, I think we reviewed or previewed, sorry, the Manchester United game, and that was
yeah,
in match week 3. So since
yeah,
then, Liverpool have climbed up to the top of the Premier League table and the Champions League table. We're in the semi-final, as you mentioned, against Tottenham next week, which is the second leg, and we're also playing against Plymouth in the fourth round of the FA Cup. So, what have you made of Arnstott's evolution since we last spoke, and what do you think this team can achieve this season?
quadruple talk, I think, is a bit like it's hyperbole. It's a bit too much gas because we've still do some stupid things like switch off, like
Yeah,
conceded a goal against Ipswich, which cost me my head-to-head in FPL. No, but um, yeah. So, but I definitely do think we have the ability to get 2 trophies this season.
yeah,
Um, and hopefully one of them has to be the league with in terms of what we've done. But no, big up Slot because I was a fan. I can't remember if it was when I was last on here or not. I was a fan of his without knowing because I used to speak a lot about the Ozwrld Alkmaar team.
yeah. I
That
remember you
was
mentioning that.
yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, it was on it. That was top
Mm,
with Ajax, but then the pandemic came and they
yes,
nullified the league.
correct.
And I looked later on and then I saw that he was in charge of Alkmaar. Then obviously he went to finals, won the league. I'm sure he won the Dutch Cup as well in a
Yeah, he
different.
did.
It's one of them ones where just what I do there. Right, it's one of them ones there where the more I heard him talk, I was liking what I was hearing in regards to what he had to say. And I was thinking, well, we're going to be okay. But did I expect us to be top at this stage? No, I still thought, though he would do well, that it'd be fair because, like, you know, we've been through. Any Liverpool fan that's over 30 years old, yeah, would
Yeah,
have seen us be top. We could go all the way back to the 2001-2 season when Arsenal won the league, and
yeah,
we lost stupid games late in the season to Middlesbrough and to Southampton, right,
yeah,
away from home. So we could go back to that like over 20 years ago, know that we've been in good positions in the league and we've messed it up. But so I was thinking, but and then following seasons we've dropped off and been nowhere near it. So I was thinking, even if he comes in and does good, third or fourth, we take it because it was a anomaly after Klopp how what we were going to
yeah,
do. But from the first game, the Ipswich game, when he took Quanta off and then just saw the way that he's always tactically looking to
mm,
adjust things and whatnot. Some people watch us say, "Oh, we're not all that," but we do what we have to do to win the game. We adjust to the game at hand because when we beat City, that was very much like a Klopp performance.
yeah,
We smelt blood. We came out and we was onto them. Gakpo got the goal. We should have scored more than obviously we got the penalty in the second half. So we adjust to what the game gives us, and we're still improving. Slot said himself he wants higher GNA from Soboslai and was
yeah,
insinuating that if he doesn't, when Harvey's fit, Harvey might be able to come in his position because he doesn't see Harvey as playing out wide. So he's looking at it. So what he has days working well with it. I'll be intrigued to see when we do finally make a signing. I'd love us to make one before February 3rd, but it's highly unlikely.
no,
Um, what the first signing will be, and then what else cooking, because as big a fan as I'm of Kelleher, I didn't think that Mamadash really was needed, though we've loaned him back, unless we could renegotiate in the summer and send him back on loan to
for another yes,
Valencia for like 2 years. You know, like when Chelsea
for 12,
loaned Courtois to Atleti for three
yeah,
years. Yeah,
yeah,
something like that because Kelleher has been, by that dumb error v Newcastle, Kelleher has been outstanding in the back of the
yes,
games, bro. A
it's true.
26-year-old keeper there who's rarely complained. Then why are you switching up the thing? Because the thing is, we don't want him to be injured, but Allison gets injured so much that Kelleher always ends up playing a good amount of games per season
Yeah,
as a
it's true.
backup anyway.
It's true.
Then you add the cup games to it. So now I've been thoroughly impressed with Slot. He has got it wrong a couple of times. We were punished for that against Forest, but
Yeah,
mainly he's got things right in the first season. I just feel one or two games he can rest one or two more players than he
Yeah,
is. But yeah, no, we're doing well. It's great to see, man. But I just want us to just finish off what we started and not
yeah.
points away. So it was good the guys got a rest against PSV.
PSV,
Hopefully
yeah,
he rotates heavily again against Plymouth in the cup. We should have enough there. I don't mind a
yeah,
couple of them being on the bench, but rotate heavily. He said he was impressed with McConnell, so he's not going to send him out on loan. And I'm thinking, we wouldn't have sent everyone out on loan, did it? Like
I
they
mean
were
everyone would know.
they were considering loading Jaden Dance at the start of the season. He's
Yeah,
one of the best finishers at the club,
yeah, he
regardless
is.
of age. He's one
He's
of
a
the best.
poacher.
He's one of the best finishers at the club, and I just think with more games, he will just improve. Um, So yeah, no, I've sort of done really well. There are little things, but it's his first season in a new league,
Mm,
so some of it would seem like nitpicking when you go more in depth with it. But no, it's been impressive what he's done, and he's blunt as well. He doesn't hold any punches when he's talking about things. He's straight to the point. He doesn't try to
yeah,
play around and just be like, "We expected this from them. I expect this player to play better and whatnot." So no, it's been good to see, man. It's been to an extent a seamless transition. Like
yeah,
people were just going off the fact he would flop just because he's from Holland and he's bold. So they were thinking, yeah, like we're in for the worst. We're not going to finish in the European places and whatnot. And he shut a lot of people up, man.
yeah. They thought we recruited Ten Hag's brother or something like the way people were going on about it. So yeah, that certainly wasn't the case. But no, you're right. I find him quite refreshing in terms of what he's brought to the table. Um, yes, he's very transparent in press conferences, which is good. It's refreshing to hear that. I think it's sometimes a bit too open, especially with tactics. I want him to
Yeah,
talk.
tactically, in it, it's like
Yeah,
don't give all the secrets away. Oh no,
because he's
no.
even done a video with Real Ferdinand. I haven't watched it, but I saw like a thumbnail of it, and I'm thinking, brother, we haven't finished the league yet. Like, let's win it first. And you can tell him,
Oh,
how
what,
you
the
like these certain teams.
TNT Sports one because that's the one. And
Yeah,
Curtis Jones is on it as well with it when he said that
yeah,
Hazard's a better footballer than
yes,
Salah.
yeah.
People are giving him sticks, but
Footballing
I,
on
I
for
rate the
that one.
honesty because as much as I think Salah is the best winger to ever play in Prem, in terms of just pure like natural
Yeah,
ability, Hazard has
I know, but
got
some of
more.
the fans are a bit,
You
like
ask me
it's a
who I
bit
want
too
though,
tribal, isn't it?
I'll take Mo, bro. Forget me. Because we're in a
Yeah,
new era and it's about efficiency. It's not about
yeah,
aesthetics and them thing there. I want output, bro.
yeah. But for him, he was speaking from a personal point of view in terms of like stylistically, he likes what he sees when he watches Hazard. And
Yeah.
I'm sure we have players where, we've watched them. It might not be someone's favorite player, but we kind of relate to him because we like the way they play or the way they dribble or
Yeah.
whatnot. So I think the fans, took a bit of an uproar with that comment and just, went a bit left. I saw a lot of comments saying, yeah, get rid of Jones. And I'm thinking, listen,
Nonsense.
the guy just spoke his mind. He's probably one of his favorite players. And,
Yeah.
he said what he said, isn't it? So he's not putting Salah down. He still said that, look, Salah's my guy. Like when it comes to goals and output,
Yeah.
I'm always going to pick Salah all day long. But,
Yeah.
fans can be a bit,
A lot of people don't like
sensitive
him
when it comes
anyway.
to their own players in that sort of situation.
A lot of people, I know he isn't like as consistent as some would like. I'm a fan. I feel when he starts after the forwards, he looks like the most likely midfielder to get a goal. And remember, he's played a different position because he played further forward. He was like a
Yeah.
10
He was
in
a number 10,
for
yeah?
much of the youth setup, smashing hat tricks and doing madness. And certainly under Klopp, it's like Klopp wanted to make him some Ginny Rebor. So it's one of them ones
Yeah.
where learning new position, he obviously sometimes still holds on to the ball in certain situations longer than he should hold on to the ball. When he's flowing, like that's Newcastle. Remember a couple of seasons ago, we wouldn't have finished. It was the 2021 season, wasn't it? When he went on that mad goal scoring spree and got
Mm,
us up to, we ended up finishing third,
yeah.
like away at Leicester, away at Sheffield United, um, etc. When he was banging in when there was no fans. Um,
Yeah.
for at the start of the season anyway, and then obviously as the season went on, then more came back in. So yeah, no, Jones, I think he's a very valuable squad asset. But yeah, but I'm amazed at the amount of Liverpool material that I watch, and you get people that don't rate him and Harvey Elliott. If you don't like one of the other, cool. But I'm thinking, what's he done? Every time Harvey comes on, he always passes it forwards. So if he's a sub, he's always doing something that
Yeah.
makes you get what I'm saying. He's always doing something that improves the team when he comes on. because it's one of those ones where he's always looking to pass the ball forward,
Yeah,
and he's always looking to pass the ball forward when he comes to substitute bench. So
yeah,
instant impact, you get me. So and I think more minutes from the start always improve. I like the fact he's come out and said blatantly that he's not leaving, but you
yeah.
know what I'm saying. So
And
you
he's a
know,
Liverpool fan as well. So he's a boyhood dream. So for him, it's like
mm,
he wouldn't want to leave the club if he's unfortunately forced to leave, or he's been told, yeah, you know what, you're surplus to requirements. You need to go. So he's never really got that from the club, I don't think. So for him, it's like, look, even if I'm not starting week in week out, I'm
mm,
still happy to be here. I'm a Liverpool fan. So for me, this is a dream that a lot of us, probably dreamt when we were kids. So he's actually doing it in real life. So for him to just walk away because he's not playing enough games. He's an intelligent kid as well. He's not one of those guys where he thinks he's better than what he is. Like
yeah,
he knows the situation. He's been out injured as well, so that's why he's not been involved in the first team
yeah,
as much as he probably would have liked. Because when you've come back from a injury where you've been 2, 3 months out, you have to find that rhythm, find that fitness level again,
yeah,
and then you can play with that intensity. Until you don't find that intensity, you're not really going to get game time.
mm,
Gazer is slowly finding that sort of fitness right now. So that's why
yeah,
we're seeing a little bit more of him. So it's the same with Harvey Elliott. So
mm,
you've got to manage these players a bit more carefully. I think, especially, we've got Jota, where I'm sure we'll talk about him later on, where he'll have a few good games and then he'll get injured again. So it's like, there's certain players you really have to wrap them up in cotton wool because you can't just expect them to play week in, week out. So
mm,
in regards to your point about, fans being, not, you know, pleased about the performances of Jones and Elliott in the team. I don't know why, personally. For
mm,
me, Harvey Elliott, it's another debate in terms of if you see him as a first team start as a number 10 position. I don't personally. I
mm,
think Szoboszlai has all the credentials to be that guy.
mm,
Like I said earlier on, he just needs to improve on his GNA. And I feel
yeah,
like the goal that he scored the other day was an instinctive goal. And that's
yeah,
the type of goal that he's capable of doing
mm,
week in, week out, in my opinion. So he needs to find that balance in terms of when he's on attack. Because I feel like he gets he thinks too much and he always passes to Salah. So for him, he needs to be a bit more like confident in his own ability and try and
mm.
go on goal himself at times because he's got a shot on him. We've all seen it over the years. So
Yeah,
the
yeah,
guy
yeah.
can
He scored some
definitely hit. Do
bangers,
you know what
isn't
I
it?
mean?
Like flipping FA Cup goal, away at Wolves.
Mm,
That goal against Tottenham when he put it
yeah,
top bins after the Salah pass. Like Harvey, I think yeah, because he doesn't see him off of the right. I'm fine with, but like if just say he was he was had been fit for longer, though obviously Somerset scored in the end, I would have liked to have seen him start against the likes of Ipswich because I think, especially away from home, Somerset is essential because the work
yeah.
rate, when he doesn't play, you realize about how much ground he covers. Like the guy is
It's true.
everywhere. He's everywhere. So, but yeah,
But I
some
like the
home
fact that
games.
we have two different number 10s because sometimes you don't need to have like for like players in one position.
Yeah,
I like the fact that we have Sobozla, who you say is probably more suited for away games where his energy is really going to be utilized. But however, for me, he's the perfect guy to come off the bench and challenge a low block team, which ends up being a weekly basis now for us because everyone, plays very defensive against us. So he's the guy who can come on. And like you said, he's doing forward passing. He's not just passing the ball sideways
yeah,
just to, notch up his pass completion to 90%. He's not doing that. He's trying to do it to be a creative spark. He's
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
hit the through balls.
mm,
He's trying to make things happen. So that's what you want from a player. So I'm always sort of bemused into the why fans don't rate his contribution because I feel like whenever he's come off the bench, I've always felt like he's made an impact. Whether
yeah,
he's directly providing an assist or he's been the guy that gave the
yeah,
assist to the person and then ended up scoring, he's always been involved in some
mm,
shape or form. So obviously every fan will have their sort of opinion about certain players, but for me, I feel like we've got the right balance in our team. And
yeah.
no further ado, let's talk about our team right now. So you mentioned it earlier on.
Mm.
It's January the 30th right now. We've got a few more days until the transfer window is closed. Now,
A few more days of tumbleweed blowing, bro.
let's be honest, nothing's going to happen from our point of view. But my question for you is, what are your feelings about the lack of transfer activity from Liverpool? And are you surprised? because obviously we know who our owners are, we know how they operate. Like, are you surprised that we
Um,
haven't really gone in and done any business so far?
I'm sadly not surprised. That's what the thing
Yeah,
is. I'm sadly not surprised. To be perfectly honest, um, yeah. So, and I'm surprised, but the thing is that though I'm not surprised, I'm surprised at being not surprised. If that makes any form of sense, because as I said,
okay,
spoke earlier about change up the lineup, fullback having to play centre half, um,
yeah,
and you brought the young boy on. He's obviously got sent off, so that could damage
yeah,
confidence. But I'm sitting there. We've been screaming out from Klopp was there for a left-sided um, centre half
send it
that
off.
can
Yeah,
also fill in at left back. And
mm,
one of the slots old players, Hancho, at Feyenoord, scored against Man City, had a very good Euros. Was very good against England. Even like Bukayo Saka didn't get much change out of him. I thought we'd go
mm,
for him. He was linked to us and then was heavily linked. They said the deal was done for him to go to Atletico Madrid, but then that fell
okay,
through, right? I know you're a big Hato fan.
mm,
He was at Anfield the other day.
yes,
Your other boy went to Paris Saint Germain, didn't he? Is it Pacho?
yeah,
Yeah, right. So there's numerous ones. There's numerous ones about that could do that, but it doesn't seem that we're involved because for me that would get Virgil more rest. You get what I'm saying?
mm,
Because Virgil is vital, needs to be wrapped in cotton wool protection at all costs. Because though all the
yeah,
other centre backs have picked up injuries, if we lose him now, regardless of whether sometimes I cuss him for the attempts he makes to block some shots and whatnot, like he's twerking at carnival, sticking out himself, himself like that and whatnot. The guy's quality, and the guy is one of the best defenders to have done it in the Premier to ever have done it in the Premier League. But so yeah, losing him at regards to everything, the way he plays the game as well, he's got 2.5 years left in him, in my opinion, just the way that he plays the game. Because he chooses
yeah,
when to accelerate because he reads it so well, picks it up, and then as he goes along, you can rest him for more and more games if you've got that player in there that can play that role. Um, so yeah, so you would have thought we would have done that if Trent. Bradley never had a great game yesterday, and I'm a Conor Bradley guy. He did not have a great game yesterday. But the joke is, if you
okay.
watch other Liverpool pods, they'll be telling you like profoundly that he's a better defender, much better defender than
Yeah,
Trent.
do
And
you know
I'm
what?
like, no.
I have to address that. Yeah, for me, that needs to stop. That needs to stop, man. That has to
Bro, it's
stop.
been going on for time. You know, where people have got their Trent agenda from. It's
But
been
then the
going
thing
on for
is, so the
time.
last few games where he's started for us, why are we still getting targeted on that side? It's because he's not as great as defensive as people think he is.
Well,
Like,
there you
don't get me
go.
wrong, he's good. Like, I think with him in comparison to Trent, he's probably stronger in the tackle. So the
Yeah,
Mbappe tackle that everyone's
yeah,
gloating about, and there's been tackles where he's come on and he's really put his foot in. That's probably something that sticks out for fans, and it's just like it gets the crowd a bit more uplifted. But defensively, he's probably slightly better, but the way people made out is like, he's like a, I was going to say one Bissaka because one Bissaka one on one, he's
mm,
like really good, but he's not that sort of defensive capability. So
mm,
for me, Conor Bradley is a good defender.
mm.
Look, we'll touch on contracts very shortly as well, but in terms of Trent's future, is going to be the number one fullback for me. Like I don't see Conor Bradley ever, overtaking him. And even if Trent was to leave, we have to recruit another right back.
Yeah,
I don't think he should just walk into that number one spot because
yeah.
he's come
Just
through
because
the
of the fact,
academy.
yeah,
Like
he
for
did
me,
well when
it's
he
not
backed him up.
sentiment. It
Yeah,
needs to
yeah.
be where he's good enough to be the number one guy. So yeah, I'd say that out loud.
But who is out, bro? I'm thinking, who realistically could you get in? Because like left-sided, and usually it's right back where it would be easier to fight because obviously there's more players that are right-footed than left, right?
Yeah.
But there doesn't seem to be an abundant. There's not like
No.
left back. I can roll off names, but I can't sit there and honestly say that there's a bag of right backs that I can actually be like, yeah,
Do you know what's funny,
yeah,
Double D?
we
I'll
could
tell you
get
what.
him.
We're going through a time right now where I don't feel like a right back is a fashionable position right now. And when I say that, it's because a lot of teams are playing with back threes and they're playing with
Yeah,
wing backs.
yeah,
So our team, we don't really play wing back. So for
mm,
us to find that traditional right back it's not going to be an easy task. Like
Mm.
if you ask me to find your wing back, I could give you quite a
Yeah,
few
yeah,
names because
yeah,
there's a lot of wing backs on like Frimpong, and
yeah.
he
Frimpong,
actually went
Frimpong,
on
yeah.
a few years ago and said that he was actually close to joining Liverpool a
Yeah,
few
but
years
he's
back.
saying so no one in the family drove or something like that, was it?
Yeah, like
So to
apparently
get
it was
there.
like distance wise, his family didn't have a car, so it was like a longer distance for him to get
Mm,
there. But he ended up picking up his local team, which was Man City. So that shows that there are players out there that can do the job. But the way we set up as a team, we kind of need an all rounder. It's not going to be an attack minded because if we put Frimpong as a right back, for me, that's not going to work. As much as I rate the player,
yeah,
he doesn't really have that sort of defensive awareness to
yeah.
cover ground or
In a
to play
four.
that
Yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's too forward minded. So yeah, it's an interesting. But yeah, I know a lot of fans are like, Conor Bradley's the truth, and if Trent wants to go, no sweat. We've got someone ready made. I don't think he's ready made, and that's just me. That's just my opinion. Let's talk about the contracts. I talk about this every week, and I feel like I'm sort of like a cassette player because I'm saying the same thing every week, and the club aren't really giving me anything to work with because there's no further updates with the contract situation. It hasn't changed since like the last 12 months. So the contracts. Um, what's the feeling about the whole situation? You've probably heard new voice about it quite a few times, but I want to get your thoughts. What are you feeling about the whole
Ah,
situation?
I don't know what's going on. Like, not one of them tied up. And to make it worse, if it wasn't enough headache with Salah, Trent, and Virgil, Alisson's only got 1 year left, hasn't he? And then believe Ibu as well. And
So yeah,
Ibu spoke a couple of weeks ago and said he's been offered a new contract, but he was saying whether he's going to sign it or not is another story or something. I'm
yeah,
paraphrasing here, obviously. So I don't know what they're doing. Like, honestly, I don't like to be critical of someone in their role because I don't know their exact day-to-day role, but I'm trying to think of something Hughes has done so far. But I'm
he's a
thinking, yeah,
fraud,
because
man. Just say it. Everything's so
yeah,
nice for Double D. Just say he's a fraud, man.
remember with
Come on.
Edwards, yeah, they say don't go back to X whatever and them thing there, yeah. We approached Edwards, Oz, yeah, and he didn't want the job. He didn't want the job. We've gone back to him with our tail between his legs to get him in, but it's in a different role, not in the role we wanted him in a different role. So he's got his buddy from Bournemouth to take over the role.
Yeah,
I'm struggling to think that flipping what's being done. I see him in the crowd. I'm thinking that we've got flipping Piers Brosnan working at the flipping club, bro. You get what I'm saying, bro? I'm thinking that is this man acting, bro?
top level.
What have you done? What have you done? You brought a goalkeeper in the position on the pitch that is the least to worry about because we've got the best goalkeeper in the world and then the best backup. Because I think the only man backup that can test him is Ortega at Man City, right? Properly test him. So
Yeah,
I'll take the best
yeah, true.
best goalkeeper in the world, best backup in the world. Whether you agree with that or not, not
No,
you,
no, I
but
agree with.
not you. I don't know you, like other people is
No,
whatever, yeah.
yeah, I
But
agree.
so you address the position that was had the least amount of
Yeah, it's
concern
true.
about it. Doesn't make any form of sense to me. Just because of the fact what he was going to go to Newcastle, so you're making sure another Premier League team didn't get him. I don't understand it. So I'm just struggling to think that how can you sit there, look at that squad, and the slot will protect them and always be like, yeah, we're working day to day, and not think that like bar in the summer we tried to get Zubimendi, who apparently is going to Arsenal now. And so then I'm thinking, what? So there was no backup to Zubimendi. But luckily, we've fallen upon playing Gravenberch deeper, and Gravenberch has been outstanding, arguably our best
Chance, yeah,
player this season. So I'm especially glad that he got a rest, though he would have loved to go back to Holland, though it's not his former club
yeah,
like
true.
that, and play because he needed the rest, was squeezing everything out of him. And you spoke obviously was asking me about Slot earlier. We're still improving, bro.
Yeah,
So if we can keep the core pieces, though it only looks like at the most we could keep two of them because Trent would be gone, could be just as dangerous next season. No seasons are identical, but
definitely not.
we want Gravenberch can add to the positions he gets to. He can add more GNA. The
Yeah,
defensive end we're not worried about. Brilliant, each ball camera not worried about. Sobosai can add more GNA.
yeah,
Obviously, Jota's fitness. Diaz started the season like he was going to score more goals than Salah and has died down tremendously.
yeah,
And but obviously, we're lucky we've got Cody doing his thing there, but Slot doesn't
true.
fancy Nunes so much. So obviously, he's been playing Diaz as the false nine. So there's areas that we can even still improve in as well as that we're doing. So They need to get these contracts tied up, and then we need to go on and do what we can do because there's a window here. While City have got to get it back on, etc. Arsenal bid for Ollie Watkins. That stupid bid was never going to get done. There's a
How much?
window here, so board sort it out.
How much did they bid
Sort
for
it
him?
out. Hmm?
How much did they bid for Watkins?
60,
How
60
much was
million. 60 million.
this
And
guy?
Villa put the phone down straight away because they flipping obviously Duran's going Saudi for 77 million euros. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. To Al Nasser as well, who have got CR7. I don't see the point in it. And Al Nasser are trying to buy Matoma as well when they've got Mane playing on the left hand side when Matoma plays. So I don't
Trying
know
to
what they're
get Matoma.
doing. They
Damn. Okay.
Brighton rejected the first bid. I think it was like 58 million or roughly around that. You get what I'm saying for Matoma.
Mm.
So I don't know what's going on, but yeah, sort it out, Hughes, man. The contract you try a victory and then you just want to sit there, watch the press conference, and just enjoy it, and then the contracts come up, so you can't even settle. Look how well we're doing, and we're not settled. It's like top of the Premier League, top of this 36 team Champions League table, and we're still worried about stuff because if all these players leave, we are shanked because signings, even if they do go on to be brilliant signings, they might not hit the ground running because Prem,
No, they won't.
someone coming crashing into you, like it takes time to adapt into,
Yeah.
like the speed of it and how heavy some of the challenges, etc. And that will be. So you can't guarantee we're going to get every single signing right. So therefore, keep as many of them as you can. Like we're moving like we have no money. I don't get it. Give them what they want, especially out of them, especially the over 30s in Van Dijk and Salah. Van Dijk still operating at a great level. Salah, being a Muslim, keeps himself in brilliant shape. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no smoking, drinking, or like that, like you might get with people from other countries and other religions, right? And he's just doing his thing. And then I can't believe he could be doing this and not sitting there thinking, okay, we were willing to offer you this before, but we're seeing how great you are. You've proved it to us. Let's meet you there. Like, where is there no form of appeasement somewhere? Or what? Like, what's going on? It's so drama. Why I've never seen such quality players go this deep in
Yeah.
like into the contract talks. Like January's here. They can talk to other clubs at the moment. They might be talking to other clubs already.
We don't know.
And we're not doing anything.
No. Listen, for me, no one can make a case for Richard Hughes. And I'm not trying to sound, hard-headed or stubborn, and like I don't want to hear nothing, but no one could tell me anything otherwise because he has not done anything that feels like, we've got the guy that will take the club forward, or it fills me with confidence. And I feel like, you know what, with this guy on board, maybe we'll sign some Italian players because he's got connections in Italy and all that sort of stuff. Guy's done nothing. The only thing he's done is he's been on holiday in Italy. That's the only thing he's done this month. He hasn't
Catching
done
up on his
anything.
tan.
Yeah,
Man,
that's all he's done. That's all,
man's caught up with his tan. That's about it. Like,
that's
what's
all he's
going?
done.
What's
That's all
come
he's
on?
done. So
What's going? I'm sitting. I'm thinking. Yeah, Edwards really didn't want that role, so gave it to his buddy, and we'll see it now. Like,
yeah,
was the role too big for him, or what? He needs to do something drastic.
it's
Like
way too big
I've
for him,
heard
bro.
you bury him on previous things, but he needs to do something drastic to get us on board because I like. Oh, come on,
He's
man.
done nothing, Double D. That's the thing. He's done absolutely nothing. If
Ozzy,
let me say it like this:
yeah,
if
Chiesa,
the
Chiesa,
contracts were
Chiesa.
done,
My
if the
bro
contracts were
Chiesa.
done, then it's another conversation. But you know what? He secured the future of elite players like
Yeah,
Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent. So then I was like, do you know what? He's done something. To be fair, I wouldn't be hugely impressed by it because that's an internal situation there. That should be something that would have been dealt with a long time ago. It should have been dealt with a long time ago. So it wouldn't impress me to that extent. But he hasn't even done that yet. Someone be saying anything with confidence that, you know what? Give this guy time. Look, for me, I'm not giving him time. It's not like it's his first job. He's not in work experience. He's done this job at other clubs. He's not done it at this level for sure, but he has done this job before.
and
So
if we are
you can't
getting
give him the name, the notebook, and my
and
guy come and open the first page.
and if we are getting linked to any names at the moment, though I don't think anything's concrete because I don't think we're
No.
doing anything. It's Kirkes or it's Semenyo, all players that he got for Bournemouth. You're at Liverpool now, bro. There's a different pool of players you can look at now. Like
Yeah,
we have more money than Bournemouth. Like you get me?
true. But you can't just buy the same players that you bought at a different club. Like that's just lazy. Anyone can do that. Do you know what I mean? So for me, in terms of Richard Hughes, yeah, I'm not impressed at all. If anyone's got anything to say, drop a comment and let me know. But I don't want to hear it. For me, I've already made my opinion on them. Until I see something,
Yeah,
I can't change my opinion. And I've said it on my show before. If it surprises me with a signing, I'll be like, you know what? Fair play to the guy. He actually delivered something here, but he
yeah,
hasn't done anything. The Chiesa one, I was slightly, about to, give him a bit of praise there, but I thought, hang on, that was an easy deal to come through. I'm not even trying to take any credit away from him, but the guy was frozen out cold at his previous club. So it's like it's more or less like signing a free agent. Like he wasn't going to
yeah,
get any game time. He wasn't really
yeah,
affiliated with
yeah.
the club anymore. So that was not a hard deal
He
to get
he
done.
he
So for
he
me,
looked good. He looked good yesterday, Chiesa.
oh, do
Hungry.
you know what?
He
Yeah,
looked hungry. So if we could keep him fit,
hungry. Yeah,
we know we can have some games. Like for instance, we play Wolves soon at home.
yeah,
He could start after an hour, get Salah on to finish them if we're not leading by a handsome amount before then. You get what I'm saying? Home to Wolves and that. You get me? So, but you know me, I've been a Chiesa fan for donkey's years. We
yeah. I know
spoke
you
about
have.
that. We spoke about
Yeah,
that at the start of the season. You get
yeah,
me?
yeah.
So, you know, but
Yeah, 'cause I've been saying for
no,
months. I'm saying, look, let the turn of the year come. That's when we're gonna see the real Chiesa. Because I feel like it's gonna take him time to get used to the league, get used to
yeah,
the physicality, get used to even our training regime. Because apparently he's been struggling with that. So getting used to that fast-paced football, and once he's got up full fitness, he's able to go. And for me, I said on my match reaction show yesterday, I think he's 95% there. Like he's got a few more yards to go, and for me, then he's like fully fit. The Chiesa we saw from a few years back, he'll be able to
from
show
yeah,
glimpses of that sort of
yeah.
talent. So yeah,
And
fingers
then
crossed. Hopefully, he
and
stays
then it's
fit. He's
problem,
able to have an impact.
and then it's problems if that comes down. Then it's problems. There's problems. You get what
Good
I'm saying?
problems. For me, it's good problems because he can play anywhere. He can play through the middle as well.
Yep,
So for
yep,
me,
yep. As you pointed out at the
yeah,
start of the season when we came on, he played predominantly down the centre for
yeah,
Juventus last season.
exactly.
You get me? Because before then, I mainly seen him left all the right, but he cooked in the
Yeah, yeah.
Euros a couple of years ago.
And that's the
Player
thing. He
man,
looks so
and he can finish.
comfortable.
The boy can
Yeah,
finish.
he looks so comfortable on the left as well because he's played a few times recently. He looks so
Yeah,
comfortable on the left.
yeah,
On the right, I like the way he
yeah,
plays there as well. In terms of the shooting, he's always shooting on target. I
yeah,
don't think he's hit a shot over the bar yet. So
yeah,
he's always very accurate with his sort of end product there. So for me, we've got a good player there. We
yeah.
definitely he just needs the question is, can he stay fit for a long period of time? That is the big question.
A big
So
question. Yeah, exactly.
we'll see. Before we
Question.
we discuss other transfer related topic. I'm just gonna go through some of the comments here. So Ashik says hi, big up yourself, Ashik. Nick says hi as well. Big up Nick. Thank you for tuning in, guys. GTV Football Channel, big up yourself. G says evening brothers, big up yourself, bro. I hope you're well. Amirali says Kanate has signed a new contract until
Until 24.
2029, according to Avi. So big up to Avi. If
Interesting.
that's the case, I know Avi, doesn't like to be called an ITK out loud, but he has his moments here and there. If that's the case, look, I'm all for it. That's good news if that is the case. But once I see it on the official website, that's when I'm going to be a bit more, cheerful when I see it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
Amirali says, big up the lads, big up yourself, Amirali. So yeah, let's quickly wrap up the transfer segment because I feel like Richard Hughes has got my nerves now. So
Man's blood is boiling, bro.
yeah, man, that guy irritates me. So let's put him out the way now. Let's kick him through the curb and let's pretend we're sporting directors now. So,
Yeah.
what positions do you think need to be addressed next season or in the summer? And what players do you think need to depart from the existing squad? And also let me know which players you'd like us to target in the summer.
Ooh. Summer targets. Nunes can go, bro. Nunes can go. So bring me. Um, look, the way that FSG spend, we can count as much of the show up talking
Yeah.
about how much we like this striker and that striker, but we haven't got the money to afford Alexander Isak. Newcastle
No, we
paid
haven't.
Newcastle paid around 60 for him. So the way that he's been balling out, he'd cost at least 100 million. Liverpool aren't going to play that. I'm even still weary of the fact I don't think we ever had that money for Sacheda. Or not we had it. We've obviously got it there, but we were never going to spend that money on Sachado. So we made it look like we were trying to
Yeah,
appease the fan
PR
base
move, bro.
because
You know.
PR move because the social media powerful, powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at when they furloughed the staff during the pandemic. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying, but social media powerful. So I don't think we can spend that. So highly unlikely to turn that on Isak. So we would be more probably trying to get a Jokeres or Osherman.
Mm.
Um, if we bothered to get a striker because apparently the squad's fine. Um, so yeah, one of them. Isak is the dream one, so I'd say that.
Yeah.
But in realistic, then no, because Isak could drop off and link up playing that as well. And I think with the way that we can interchange positions in our system, I think it would be like outrageous.
Mm.
Um, so that was one of someone. What are the other ones? That's you said
So in terms
what
of
one of the
players,
someone.
who would you sell from the team right now? So you said Nunes. Is
So
there
yeah,
anyone else that you feel like should depart from the club?
Nunes. I like Endo because he could do a job at centre half as well. But with his inability to use him, because to be honest, yesterday he could have played centre back yesterday, Endo, and
Mm.
then he could have played Tyler Morton DM
Yeah.
because Morton's talking about. I think West Ham want Morton now. He's talking about
Just
possibly leaving because of a lack of game time.
game time. Yeah.
So uh, yeah, so it's one of them ones. So I'm trying to think of who else I would sell. I wouldn't sell
Would
Robbo.
you sell Jota? Because a lot of fans are
No,
like saying,
no, I'm not every Liverpool thing I listen to. They want to get rid of Jota. I'm too like you could say it's partially a bit of bias because of how much I'm a fan of his, but
yeah,
I wouldn't sell him. No, I wouldn't sell Jota.
I would keep him, but I would upgrade him. If that makes sense. So for me, he'd be the player on the bench, but they're
Yeah,
not to kind of pigeonhole him and say he's just going to be a bench player. The reason I've said that we need to upgrade on him because I feel like we need to rely less on him. So for
yeah.
us, he not the right term, but he ends up being more of a luxury player for us, where when he is available,
Yeah,
it's a
because of the
sacrifice.
fitness. Yeah, because at the moment, as great as salaries, I'd say Jota is the best finisher at the football club.
Yeah, I think so.
So if you've got that already, I wouldn't. You can't trust that things are gonna happen, like go exactly how you want it in this market. So for me,
Mm,
I'd keep him. There's no problem in bolstering
yeah,
the front line, given the amount of games that there are to be played as well. You get what I'm saying? Go
yeah,
back. Obviously, it's a while, over 10 years now, but Man City had Balotelli, Dzeko, Aguero, and I'm sure there's another one that I'm missing out all at the club,
yeah,
all at the club at the same time.
yeah. They're like
Um,
four strikers, isn't it? Yeah, I remember.
so I mean, because like, and it's the ability to change things, and we've already seen that how much Slot can get things right when he changes. So yeah, I'd keep Jota. We need to stop this talk like it's always sell to buy. Don't we know how FSG go on? Even if you get two-thirds of what you bought Nunes
Yeah,
for, do it. Don't get twisted. I like Darwin as a person, but that doesn't mean that he's getting it done on the football pitch week in week out. Love him for the
yeah.
goals. Uh, the other day against Brentford and
Perfect.
the
Yeah,
goals last season against Newcastle,
Newcastle.
etc. But at the end of the day, he needs to. I don't know how much he works on the finishing and just enthusiasm and passion. Yeah, is not just always going to get it done. So yeah, I'd let him go. And I'd bring Ben Doak back, but if because I like what I've seen, what he's doing at Middlesbrough, and I think all that game time's just going to improve him.
Mm,
But if Slot doesn't fancy him, then let it go. But I just don't understand where the money would have gone. It's not like we've been splashing out, splashing out, splashing out. So I'd keep Doak, but if he was to be sold, I'd partially maybe understand it.
mm,
I would keep Endo, but I'd partially understand him leaving. I'd keep Robbo. So as much as I like Zimmerkas, he can have some brain fart moments. So if you're going to sell one of the left backs, and then if you're going to bring in Ait Nori, And the thing is, I don't think don't Adnor he does stick his foot in, etc. I'm not saying that he's the greatest defender in the world, but as you were saying earlier, it's good to have someone different to what you have. So we've seen
Yeah.
how Robbo plays. I know he's more a wing back. You bring him on immediately, he's going to drive forward, he's going to dribble past people,
Mm.
and he's going to get into those positions that Robbo gets in when Robbo kicks it into Rosette or skews it wide. And I know he put the ball in the back of the goal. And getting
Yeah.
goals from your fullbacks, etc. Those other areas mean a lot in tight games when a Salah or whoever is not firing. You get what I'm saying? But otherwise, there's not
Mm.
too many people who's got them like, yeah, they have to go now. But there are people that I would accept if they were to go, if that makes
Mm.
sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I think in terms even like players to target as well, I feel like it's very like the striker market for me is very flat. There's not a lot of like big hitters for me that will
Bro, very flat
break up,
because
you know?
you're getting like unless you want to get someone who's like what's the word that you want to work with that you think can adjust. Like
Yeah.
forever, for instance, Xabi Alonso's trying to bring him on loan to Leverkusen. Though I know I'm more of a fan of his than you are, but Evan Ferguson, who
Ferguson, yeah.
injuries have hampered him, and I'm
Mm.
telling people this, yeah. Though he looks like a bully at the moment, there is some finesse in there. I'm telling you, Liam Delap is a problem. Yeah,
Mm.
he's a problem. So if he works
Mm.
with a coach that can get him to work with the technical ones, and that I'm just being more realistic with, because I know we're not going to spend a certain amount of money. I'm just being more
Yeah,
realistic. We bought for 20 million, more realistic with people that we could get for maybe 40, 45
yeah,
million pounds. Not saying that he's worth that, but in terms of what he would mean to Ipswich, because they got him for about 20 million, because Delap scored that goal. It was against Villa earlier this season
yeah,
when he did the double step over on Diego
yeah,
Carlos and
yeah.
he banged it in left footed. If you see that in the locker, the more he plays, especially with people that have got more technical ability, etc., you're going to see that come out of them more. But the striker market, as you're saying, is flat because a lot of people, even Mamouche, that's a left winger, playing in the centre,
Yeah,
doing the madness. You get what I'm saying? A lot of players doing the thing now are inside forwards that,
forwards,
or
yeah.
wingers
True.
that have been moved centrally. There's barely any natural number nines out there,
So
throwback
true.
nines. Like there's
Mm.
barely any out there, and that's the problem with all like these systems and squeezing this, etc., and whatnot. You want people to express themselves. Like it's like football's positionless now. You get what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Compared to what it was before, you're getting people playing all over the place. They centre mid, go right back, etc. That just used to be them filling in there before. Now that it's actually constantly happening. You don't even know
yeah,
a certain place to go. Bring it back to position display and whatnot. Go out and you get me. We will be linked. I heard it, but then I heard you saying it on the pod last week. Or was it two
yeah,
weeks ago? Was it 2 weeks ago? You did it with Jamie, right?
yeah.
About the brother in the Bundesliga, the 20-year-old. And now I'm hearing the next team is going to buy him.
Oh, is it?
You get what I'm saying? Like I can't remember what team he's at, but he plays in
He's in the
Bundesliga
Bundesliga too.
too. But like the
Nuremberg,
20,
I think it is.
the 20 yeah, that kind of, but he's being linked to and now another team's getting there. I'm thinking like are Liverpool just pushing this out to appease the fan base, or
Yeah,
is it just being made up from somewhere? And now it doesn't even look like they're going to follow through. So if you're going to
yeah,
be a striker, you would have thought you would have wanted an older one than
yeah,
like a 20-year-old, because they're going to throw the 20-year-old in, or they're going to put it back. Give Dads a goal. Give Dads a goal. Strengthen the other areas because Dads is a finisher. So like the striker thing isn't even, no, I said it earlier,
yeah.
the immediate thing for me, get another centre half, get a DM, get a DM in there. You get what I'm saying? Because
Mm.
like when the Sachado thing fell through, then we got linked to Tyler Adams, and then
Yes,
Adams ended up going Bournemouth. He's been injured for the best part of a year. He's come back. He's doing bits in Bournemouth team at
he's
the
doing
moment and
bits.
getting assists as well. We know about the work rate. Go
Yeah,
back to the World Cup when England and USA played. McKennie, him, the USA's engine room murdered England. England didn't do anything because they were just covering all the space in there. He's doing bits for Bournemouth now. And
he's not a bad player. He's a
you
good
can
player.
see that
I
he's
like
locked in tactic. If you just do his interviews and whatnot, he's locked in tactically as well. He
him.
knows what to like. He follows the manager's instructions and everything there. It doesn't always have to be names that you bring in. It's what suits the system. So the
Yeah,
analytics team, the data team, whatever you do, do something and make Hughes get off his arse and make a flipping signing buff because the league is right there. The league is right there. Only injuries can stop it for us now, bro.
Yeah.
Only injuries can stop us from doing this thing. You get me? So
But do you know what the concern for me is? If we do win the league, I don't feel like that's gonna give them the urgency to even buy more players. Because you
nah,
know how it's
because
been in the past where we've won titles,
bro, it's a
they'll be like, "Oh,
business.
we just call
Bro,
it
it's a
pyramid."
look at when we
You know?
last won the title. What did we do after it? We got what? Tiago. Who else did we get after we won the league?
That's it, I think. Thiago,
Didn't we? I said we did. We bring in a free as well after we won the league.
was it Carvalho? I think Carvalho came through, no?
No, Cavalier was late. Cavalier was later on.
I can't remember. So I know
Cavalier
when we
was
won the Champions League, we got Elliot, Adrian, and we got someone else as
look at
well.
that there. You win the Champions League and you get in
Yeah,
a
Champions
backup
League, and that's what we
keeper.
got.
Harvey Cool, young player that I'd heard good word with from my Fulham boys, my boy Bear and whatnot, Fulham
Yeah.
season ticket holders, etc. So I was cool with that. But we go out and we think, oh, we could take over the world here. You know what I'm saying? It's like we just stay content. It's a business for them, innit? They're Americans. They don't understand about the passion of the fans and etc. It's a business for them. So as long as we're qualified for the Champions League and keeping things ticking over, they're content. They're not seized at the moment, but they want to buy the Boston Celtics, who are in the flipping luxury tax, in the flipping basketball, and have signed all the people that won the championship for them to ridiculous contracts. So the guy that was in charge there has sold up because he doesn't want to get hit in the pocket later on. And you want to buy that, but you won't put P into Liverpool. Come on, man. Get out of here, man.
One word that I use to describe FSG's ambition, they lack it. So for me, it's a concern when you have owners like that where from a business point of view, they're doing bits in terms of making money, revenue, building partnerships. You know, they're doing their thing. But when it comes to on the field stuff, when it comes to sporting situations, they're not really helping the team. So look, we're quite the only thing they've done well so far in recent months is the appointment of Arnold. That's something I'll give them credit for. They've analyzed the market and they've found someone who, you know, you're never gonna find a like for like Jurgen Klopp, but you
Yeah,
found a coach that has similar characteristics or similar traits
yeah,
and still has a different way of playing, but it's still, you know, eventful in terms of what he's producing. So, you know, long may it continue in terms of the success at the club. But obviously, when it comes to transfers, look, I don't have a lot of faith. I've come to that realization. Like, you know, we can say all of these names here and there. I've always seen certain players. I'm like, that's the guy. Like Hato, you know, that's the guy
yeah,
for me that needs to
yeah,
come in.
yeah,
And you know, Isak, I've been saying for months, that's the guy. So
yeah,
there's players that I see, I'm like, they will
yeah,
fit us to the T.
yeah,
Whether they're realistic is another
yeah,
debate because they should be realistic. We're Liverpool Football Club, but
yeah.
unfortunately, we don't move like a big club. We move like we're Bournemouth. No disrespect. I know that's our opponents there, but no disrespect.
We
We're
move like
moving in those kind of lanes
move
where
like we've
it's
not got
not.
no we move like we not got no money, bro. We move like we've
Yeah,
not got
yeah,
money.
we're watching our pennies. We're watching our everything right now. Like you know what I'm saying. So the bank balance is saying something else, but our wallet's like, hey, do you know what? I ain't got no cash in my wallet.
That's what I'm saying.
That's how we're moving right now. So
There's a piece in the Athletic today that I'm yet to read talking about all the money that like we've made, what revenue and whatnot. Obviously, you get money, big money every time you win the Champions League game, and we've won seven of our bloody eight and whatnot.
yeah,
The P's there, Machi. The P's
it's
there.
there.
They just don't want to. It goes in the safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's getting something for Lindo or something. You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It goes,
They're
it
trying to buy the
goes.
Celtics, so every penny counts right now. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to buy NBA teams now. So you know, it is what it is, and you know, fans will be FSG and FSG. I always just I assess the situation. So for me, I'm not in or out. I'm kind of in between, but you know, I'm more swaying towards out because I just feel like they're just lacking the ambition that I want this club to be showing.
Yeah,
And look, we're in a position where, let's be honest, no one envisioned what we're doing right now. Even the most optimistic fan wouldn't say that, oh, we were going to be top of the league, top of the Champions League. Like, no one saw this coming. So,
no, no,
you know,
no,
count it as a blessing, but at the
nobody.
same time, we
No,
have to be humble because we haven't won anything yet. So we've still got
yeah,
months to go. I
yeah.
still feel like we are going to win the league, but, you know, still got to
if
keep
we
it.
if we get through this period here, us right,
Yeah,
obviously Bournemouth, Everton, right, regardless of what happens in the cup game in Tottenham, because I want to win everything, being a Liverpool fan, but because we've won two
League
league
Cups.
cups in 3 years, if
Yeah,
Tottenham need a trophy more than we do at the moment. So if we think knocked out
yeah.
of that, calm.
We'll
FA
be
Cup now, I
charitable.
want to get that because
Yeah,
breaking that 16-year duck a couple of years ago, I was like, Jesus Christ, so Liverpool, we went 16 years of that. Though we got robbed against Chelsea in 2012 because if VAR was present, they would have realised that that header went across the line, right?
hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not thinking with that. But if we beat Bournemouth and beat Everton, because I think we're going to take 4 points from the 6. I hope I'm wrong and we get all 6, right? If
Okay.
we beat Bournemouth, we beat Everton, and then we beat Wolves afterwards, and then I think it's City after that and beat City as well. I'd say it's more or less done. And I'm the biggest pessimist. But that is
Mm,
only if we take maximum points from the games, regardless of what Arsenal do,
yeah,
because obviously one of those would be the game in hand. You get what I'm saying? I'd say you're
yeah,
probably done, bro. But it's a big if to win all them games, and unfortunately, I don't think that we're going to. But hopefully, I'm proved wrong. You get what I'm saying? But
yeah.
there's a thingy there, but like, just buy. It's one of them ones where it's like you don't want to buy just anybody, but like when we got Arthur, it wasn't the name that we respected, but it's like okay, we need another body in midfield, and we've done something. We're not even going to get that the way it's looking at the moment, bro.
Bro, we're not spending money on holograms. That's the thing, isn't it? So, we're not going to spend money on stuff like so. That's not going to happen again. So they tried it once. They were like, "Oh, let's appease the fan." Because do you remember that summer couple was like, "We don't need no midfielders. We got this guy, that guy,
Yeah,
this guy,
yeah,
that
yeah,
guy, and
yeah,
then this guy
yeah,
can walk through the door for like 13 minutes and then he bounced." So, they're not. I don't think they're going to make that sort of signings anymore. I feel like they've tried to back the previous manager
yeah,
when he's needed a body or two here and there. But unfortunately, because they never worked out, they'll be like, look at your track record. You asked me for a midfielder, we got you one, and you didn't do anything. So FSG are like a bit, pessimistic. They're not going to just buy players because they think like the manager needs it, so we're just going to help him out.
yeah,
It's always a long-term vision. Like, what is this player going to bring to us from a marketing perspective, in terms of like value as well? Like, if we were
yeah,
to sell him on, will we get money
yeah,
back?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the way
yeah.
they
It's
operate.
resale, yeah, value.
That's the way we
Yeah,
operate. So it's not really about success as such. It's more about buying assets as players, which is the wrong thing to describe, but they are in their minds, they are regarded as assets, these players, where are they going to have any long term? Like, when you buy a car, you're thinking twice, oh, should I get it from the showroom or not? Because
yeah.
if I take it out, it
Yeah,
depreciates.
so exactly. As soon as you drive down the showroom, the
Yeah,
price goes down by what 5,000 immediately,
yeah.
bro. You know what I'm saying?
So they're like, should we do that
Minimum
with the
5 to
player?
10
Like,
grand.
if his value goes down, we just wait for his 5 million. So that's literally how they think as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it is
yeah.
what it is. But we'll see in terms of
But,
transfers. Look, if
but don't you
anyone's
think?
got any hope for this window,
Bro,
good
don't you
good on
think it's
you.
mad? We spoke about obviously very precious. Don't you think it's mad? We said, is it Chambers out on loan? Owen Beck, I thought he was still at the club. It's only because I saw him score for Blackburn like about a month ago or something like that. I thought Beck was at the club because on our radio show we started the season and I had two Liverpool fans to me. One is a co-host anyway, but we had a
Yeah.
guest FBJ as well as Big Sam, and we were going through who Liverpool should keep, sell or loan. Right? I thought Beck was still at the club. I had no idea he'd gone to Blackburn. And then you
Yeah.
look at what's gone in the left back position. He could have got some minutes.
He looked
And
like
we
he was on the verge of breaking into the team. Like he had potential, to be fair.
it's crazy. Like it's crazy. All these people, and then they loaned Cade Gordon to Norwich, loaned obviously Doak and whatnot. I'm thinking that like, do you realise that we're going to have cup games and some of these people can? I
Yeah.
understand you want their
Tekesh's
progression.
gone out on loan as well, hasn't he? He's gone out to Las Palmas.
Yeah, but such a shame. We recalled him from Salzburg, didn't it? Because obviously
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
were worried about his minutes because obviously Pep Linders got sacked a couple of weeks
Yeah.
ago, so they were worried about it was about to happen. Bro, I watched their first Champions League game, and the way the midfield got run through, and it was
That's
and
it.
McConnell and Clark were both playing. At least, sorry, not McConnell, sorry, Bacetic, sorry, and Clark were both playing.
And Clark, yeah,
I feel for Bobby Clark because his was a permanent one. You get what I'm saying? Otherwise, we would
yeah,
have probably wrapped up that loan and sent him somewhere else. Well, they all look good,
yeah,
but McConnell looked that bit better. So it's good he's been able to make an impact. But you've got
yeah. I
Morton
like
there,
McConnell.
not only there, and they're not giving them more minutes. I'm thinking that like, don't kill these players, bro. Don't
Mhm.
kill them. There's options there. Like some of these games recently as well. Salah's been playing 90 minutes. I'm like, flipping, take him off, man.
Yeah, he needs to
Take
be
him
taken out. It's
off.
true.
Even
Mm.
if it's a 10-minute rest, that's better than if anything can happen, like Saturday innocuous or something like that. Get him off the pitch,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Anything can happen. So I'm glad Chiesa is, finding full fitness now because
yeah,
Even if he's not starting games, he can actually rotate with Salah a little bit more, and that's what we need. We've never had a Salah backup as per on paper
yeah,
ever since he's been at the club. So it's good to have a player that can actually play very comfortably on that right hand side. But in terms of transfers, we'll see how it goes. I don't have any high hopes for this month for sure. In terms of the summer, I haven't got any huge indication for that as well. But obviously, in due time, we will talk about transfers in the months to come, and I'm sure we'll do a transfer
yeah,
special
yeah,
whenever we sign players in the future. But let's focus on this game. So, in terms of our opponents, let's analyze Bournemouth. So Bournemouth have been in sensational form this season. And for me, they've been one of the best teams in the league. They've
yeah,
made the Vitality Stadium into a fortress and are scoring an abundance of goals. Last week was evidence as they completely smashed Forest 5-0. So Arsenal is looking at Bournemouth with envy because that's the team that we failed to beat this season. But in terms of Bournemouth's last 5 games in the Premier League, they've won three. So they beat Forest 5-0, they beat Newcastle 4-1, and they beat Everton 1-0, and they drew 2 games, 2-2 draws against two West London teams
yeah,
in Fulham and Chelsea. They're currently in seventh place in the table, but to put a bit of context into where they are and let people know that they're actually having a great season so far, they're on level points with Chelsea, who are in sixth place. And the position that they're not far off is fourth. They're only 1 point behind Man City, who are occupying that position right now. So you have to give huge credit to the coach, Iraola. He had a good reputation before he arrived at the club,
yep.
but right now he's showing his true worth. I think he's showing his credentials as a top coach. So, as I've said it previous time, and Double D's mentioned it as well, this is a tricky encounter. And for me, we need to be fully focused from the first minute to the last minute. So, Double D, give me your assessment of Bournemouth this and that. What have you made of them so far, and what's impressed you as well?
It's the even from when he first came in, when he first got the job last season, they didn't win a game for 2 months, and then from the end of October, when they got their first win, they collected the most amount of points in the league with us until for 3 months or something like that. But it's the way that they can mix it up. They can go direct sometimes, but they
Yeah,
pass it. Players interchange. Semenyo goes all over the place. Clivert goes all over the place for Fatara. So they move a lot of moving pieces, and it just confuses back four. So that's why I think with them scoring 9 goals in the last 2 games, with no striker fit, because I think Evan Nilsson broke his foot, I think, out for the season, and
okay.
I think Unal, Enes Unal's done his cruciate ligaments or something like that. So they're both out for
Yeah,
the season. So they've got, is it Jefferson? That was it Sheffield United that he was at? But they've
yeah,
got no senior striker because he's
striker,
a
yeah,
young buck, and they're just going out there. Whether Semenyo or Tara occupy that forward role, play the full stand there, they all move around, and the way the pieces move tactically, they just completely undo people. One thing as well, they like to shoot, bro. They don't pick to
yeah,
shoot. Whether it's Clive or whoever, they don't pick to Tavernier, um, Christie,
yeah,
and they do a lot of when they do fouls, a lot of smart fouling. Like Christie and Cuckoo in there, they don't let teams break on them. They'll just hack a man
mm,
down, take the yellow cards, let everyone reset and get into position. And this is the thing that I think we're going to have a decent amount of the ball, but we have to be clinical because otherwise these men will just set up shop to frustrate us and then try to hit us in the counter and then get those shots in. And we sometimes do some ridiculous things defensively, as good as
mm,
when we're concentrating, as good as we are. Because remember early in the season, people were having their pops at Klopp and they were like, Slots a better tactician than Klopp, which I've not got really a problem. I think in game, yes, from
yeah,
before the game started, not necessarily, but I think in game, in terms of adjustments, at the moment, you could give that to Slot. I've got no problem with that necessarily. I
yeah,
mean, what if you think he's better? Because sometimes we'd sit there as fans under Klopp and we'll be thinking like, where's the substitutions? Where's the substitutions? Where's the substitutions? And it gets to 70 or 75 minutes. So that argument, I'm not saying Slot is definitely, but if
yeah,
that is an argument that obviously that I could see there. But they were saying, oh, we play slower and this and much better. And they were having pops at Klopp. But you've actually realised as it goes on, it's the individuals rather than the setup
yeah,
because we're still doing some ridiculous things in there. But we always going to look at the defence in the 18-19 season and when we won the league. You're not
Yeah.
going on like Virgil, Robbo, Trent. These aren't the same players. Most of the back four, it's just Ibru at the moment. Also there, then a big miss is Matip. Unless he's not
Yeah.
fit, I would have brought Matip. I would have had Matip for at least another year. You get what I'm saying? Because the way that he
Mm.
could pick, great in the air, obviously given his height, but he could make tackles, clean tackler, and he could carry the ball from defence. And when he does that,
Very comfortably
it
as
makes
well.
it comfortable because he went back
Mm.
when he was at Schalke. He had to fill in at right back sometimes. So obviously,
Yeah.
that probably came from there, right? And he'd make the back fours to retreat and make the midfielders retreat because he's carried the ball. Gives them something else to think about. Ibu tries that sometimes, but sometimes Ibu does some mad things. But he got an assist against Ipswich Richard, so
You can
he
do it.
can do the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, they will set up. I'm worried about this. Ever again, I'm just worried about if we've not got enough passion for the occasion for the last derby there, rather than what they can do technically. But
Yeah.
Bournemouth have got technical ability to hurt us. Even though we beat them 3-1, 3-0 earlier in the season, they had hella shots. Even though it was 3-0.
Yeah.
Same last season when we beat them 3-1. They took the lead, didn't they? Semenyo, they took the lead, and then we
They did,
came back
yeah.
and then we beat
For a
them.
few
That was
minutes.
when McAllister got sent off on that one, didn't it? They're a problem. They're a problem. I couldn't believe what they did to Newcastle. I wouldn't believe this thing. You know what I'm saying? And then Forest have not lost for how long? And you've got to slap them 5-0. Are you taking the piss? This guy
Unbelievable.
not to be messed with. I cussed him for getting rid of Gary O'Neill because of he kept them up. No signings there from what Scott Park had, but Iriola has been given time and he's doing his thing because with these other clubs, look at how quickly Leicester got rid of Steve Cooper this season. The way
Yeah.
he started out last season, some might have been thinking, shall we pull the trigger? But he believes in the project and look what they're doing now. But yeah, we have to be wary of them breaking, wary of their physicality, and because it's a small pitch as well, like
Mm.
there's going to be lots of throw-ins, etc. So we've got to be wary on free kicks too, because these men run some good corner routines.
They do.
They
Yeah.
run some good corner routines, and if there's anything we can defend well for 70, 80 minutes of a match, but there's one thing we might do some bozo stuff on. It's a ball into the
10
box.
minutes.
Look at the goal on Saturday from the
Yeah.
corner
So
against
true.
Ipswich. What a ridiculous
Yeah.
goal to concede.
Yeah. It's so true. That's a very valid point. Yeah.
So I've got
We
a
lose
feeling,
focus in the last 10 minutes. We always do.
yeah, and shots cost them about it, and they're still not sorting it out. Like the
Yeah.
complacency, you get what I'm saying? So that's one thing that I'm worried about. I think we're absolutely territorially going to smoke these guys, but I'm just worried about when they break and when they get set pieces. Have to be clinical, have to be. Would have loved Jota to have been fit for this one. He smashed
I
them up
know.
last season.
Yeah.
And
It's
Nunes
really
too.
interesting selection from Arsenal. No, but you're right. I think that's the concern for me is because of the players that they have where they're very quick on the counter attack. That's the
Yeah,
concern for me. The likes of because Clive was playing left winger, but he's playing as the number 10 now, and he's
yeah,
really flourished in the last few weeks. Been
yeah,
scoring a lot of goals. He's their main penalty taker as well. So
yeah,
it's too much scoring him like his dad used to back in the day for Barcelona. So
yeah.
he's definitely like being very clinical in front of goal. Or Tara, you mentioned he's been made as a makeshift striker, but
Exactly.
it kind of
He's
fits his game. He's got a bit
yeah.
more free role now. He's roaming around. He's shooting a bit more. He's more direct now because he's not having to beat a fullback. He's more
Bruv, one
central
of
now.
those
So
goals he scored against, was it the second goal? Was it towering
yeah,
header? Was it the first or second?
yeah.
Towering header. I'm looking at it.
Over Murillo. That was Murillo. He jumped over.
And Murillo, but I want him. I told people I wanted him at
Yeah,
Liverpool time ago.
Murillo's not a short guy, because we saw him against our team a few weeks ago. Like he's a beast.
Murillo's a unit, bruv. He's a unit.
Yeah,
The leap. Who are you, Cristiano Ronaldo? Jesus Christ, the
bro.
way that he leaps. Like,
Telling you,
bro.
he's a problem. And then you've got Semenyo as well, who can play comfortably on either wing. Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah, anywhere.
both-footed as well, so he can definitely like cause havoc. And even if like Fleck is a player that we're looking at, apparently
Yeah,
very good fullback as well, can bomb forward when
yeah.
required. They've got that centre back Hussein, who looks like a very interesting prospect
This
as well.
like,
So
boy. Boy, what- boy,
they got
there was a
talent,
lot of
man.
talk. There was a lot of talk of getting him from Juventus, and I saw it. But I thought, okay, like you're like you look decent. You can
Mm,
always use whether it's a him or a Milenkovic or Fresh. You can always use your
yeah,
players that tall for set pieces and whatnot. But he's showing like he's got composure and that as well. Yeah, no, they're building a good team there. They're building a good team.
they really are. So let's see who's available. You've already mentioned a few, so let's just confirm who we think from what we've heard, because I know there'll be press conferences tomorrow, so we'll get
Yeah,
further
Yeah,
clarification. But
in
from
terms of who's fit
what
and that.
as it stands right now, um, the player you mentioned, Evan Nielsen, is out with foot injury. You've also
Yeah,
got Unai, who's not available.
yeah.
Senesi, Hill, Aruja, and
And
their
so
new
this is
signing
a
Soler.
decent. So Nessi's a decent centre back as well.
He is.
And you
He's
haven't
good.
really seen them complaining about their injuries. They've got like 10 people injured.
They've got. They
They've got
have
like 10 man
Alex
injured,
Scott's
and they're
been
not
injured
complaining
as
about it.
well.
They're just getting on with it.
Yeah, they're not complaining. Alex
Hmm.
Scott has been injured. He was pretty much quite
I
prominent in their starting lineups.
That's how well
In the,
Christie and Fig have done, Cook and that have done, and obviously Adams now, because
yeah,
I
yeah,
completely forgot they bought Alex Scott. They got him from Bristol City at the start of last season, isn't it? He was starting a lot of games. See, they got Bear Man
they
injured.
got
And how
they
much do
got
you
players.
hear? But Arsenal get a couple of injuries all over flipping Sky
Yeah,
Sports
it's all
News.
of us. It's true. You can't make this stuff up. Sinistero, who's another flamboyant
There you
winger in
go.
their team,
There you go. Yeah.
he's he's been injured. So they've had injuries. And Alan Smith, who's generally their right back, can also play a bit more advanced if required.
Yeah.
He's been out as well. So these players, they're closer to full fitness, but I don't think Alex Scott, Sinistero, or Alan Smith will be taking part in this fixture.
Yeah.
In terms of Liverpool, Joe Gomez has returned to full training, so he could be in contention to be part of the squad, but I doubt he'll, start the game. Maybe on the bench. Who knows? Uh, as we mentioned earlier on, Jota and Curtis Jones remain in the sidelines. So those are the two casualties that we have. The rest of the squad are pretty much available. So what we'll do now is we'll move on to predict the lineups. We'll start with the home team, which shouldn't be really too hard based on what they've been producing the last 2-3 weeks. And then we'll present the Liverpool team, and that'll be more interesting in terms of who we think will start in that fixture. So well, let's start with the Bournemouth team. We've got. Who should we start with? So in goalkeeper has to be Kepa, right? There's no one else that would.
Yeah, they sent Phil on loan, didn't they, Travers? And he'd
Yeah,
been starting. Obviously, one of them, Kepa couldn't play against Chelsea because he's parent club, but he started another game earlier in the month. So I'm really surprised at that. So I don't even know
yeah,
who their backup keeper is though.
it's true. So Kepa will most likely start in this fixture.
Yeah,
What have you made of Kirkes? Because he's a player that's been strongly linked with the
Kirk has
club.
been linked to Liverpool. He looks decent.
Yeah,
The way obviously as we said about their midfielders go back and fill in like as a third centre back. Kirk has
yeah,
played sometimes more like a wing back.
yeah,
Um,
he does.
I like him, but I'm not like jumping
Yeah,
over hills and whatnot in
no,
the
I
fact of
agree.
being linked to him. It's another one that, along with Semenyo and Thing, that is being linked to us because they're players that obviously Richard Hughes has bought before.
That's his bands right there. So
man's being lazy, bro.
it's true, man. Laziness from his part, but no, I I co-sign that Kirk's assessment because for me, whenever I've seen him in terms of an attacking point of view, I've been impressed.
Yeah,
But I'm not 100% convinced in terms of defensively if he's going to play at Liverpool level because
yeah.
it's all good about being a good player in the Premier League, but for Liverpool, I feel like you've got to be a sort of a different kettle of fish. You've got to
But
be
how's
equipped
he's,
to
he's at
do both
21,
as
isn't it?
well.
He's at 21. So there's
Yeah,
room for him to improve. So for instance, if we were to get him, then I would say definitely don't sell Robo. Definitely not.
yeah,
Because the
yeah,
experience there, and obviously he can help him. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because
True.
Robbo's got leadership attributes compared to uh, Zimmerkas, for instance, who's just a
Yeah,
solid left back. Robbo has been the best left back in the world and can help guide him through, etc. You get me? What if,
yeah,
and I've thought about it now yesterday, secretly starts working with Robbo about as he's getting older and he's felt the effects of Klopp about being a left-sided centre back.
yeah.
Have you? Do you think that could actually be happening? And though he didn't
You
do
know
well,
what?
he's given him like a little run out yesterday to see if he can.
You know what? If that's the case, then that experiment failed very miserably because him playing at centre back. Do you know what's funny, right? When he started that game against PSV,
Yeah,
he was picking some nice balls though from that
yeah.
position.
No, no. This is the thing, Oz. This season going forward,
Yeah,
apart from when he shanks the shots, and obviously you're
yeah,
going to get that odd overhit cross because that's the way he plays. Robbo's
yeah,
been brilliant, brilliant for in a lot of games going forward. It's just that
yeah,
obviously the guy he's shooting is poor. And this is in the Scotland shirt, right? But it's been the defensive errors, the individual errors at the back that we've been
Yeah,
cussing about, and that's why I'm trying to say there's still something there. You're not one of like what he's second behind Trent now, isn't he? In all
yeah,
time in assists as a fullback in the Premier League, if you can't do anything going forward, you get what I'm saying? It would be
yeah.
impossible. And it's still there going forward, but it's been at the back. You're just like, oh, Robbo, what are you doing, bro? But I don't
He
think
was
he's
all
finished yet.
over the place against PSV. For me, it was more of his positional sense that made no sense. Like he
Yeah,
kept everyone on side.
yeah,
Like he
yeah,
had no tactical awareness in terms of, push up when required. He didn't have any tactical
yeah.
awareness to organize the back four. He was the most experienced player in that back
In the
line.
back
It's
four,
his
yeah,
responsibility to make sure everyone moves together as a unit. He didn't show that at all in that game. He was always the last man. And it's like playing playground football, isn't it? Like, there's no offside, so you just roam around wherever you want. That's what it felt like
yeah,
for me in that first half. So for me, yes, the centre back one on paper, you're thinking, oh, it could work. It could be where, because he's not as dynamic as he used to be as a fullback,
yeah,
maybe he can transition into a centre back. I just don't feel like he has that tactical awareness. So
yeah,
for me,
yeah,
he's going to be exploited even further playing in that position. So
yeah. Exactly, man.
if it's going to work, it's got to be some real
Yeah,
heavy training that probably has to be
yeah,
done in pre-season.
yeah.
Please,
Yes,
not now. This is not the
parts of the
time for experimenting.
but bro, parts of the game yesterday were brutal to watch, bro.
Yes, it
Because
was.
Quansah didn't cover himself in glory either.
No,
His confidence just seems to have been shot. Um,
it
with
has.
obviously like from you can say from the opening day, the sub against Ipswich, and I hope all
Killed his
these
confidence.
and I hope all this stuff floating about where they're insinuating the same on social media that I hope none of it's true. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
that's not
we won't
that's
even
not
get
that's
into
not that's not what you
we
want
won't
to
even get
hear.
into individual names, and we'll be here till 2 a.m.
You don't want to get involved in that kind of circle,
I
so
don't want
because
to say. I don't want to say what I've heard.
like when those things get leaked as well, it it already ruins your reputation a bit. And I'm not honestly, it's not going to be on social media, but the manager will still hear of things about this, so it might be where, he doesn't trust him as an individual.
Yeah,
Maybe he thinks he's immature at this stage.
yeah,
So he might not see him having a long-term future at the club. That's why I've kind of said that I feel like a long move for Quansah might be best for him going forward, where he's able to play more first team football. Maybe he's in an environment where he has to kind of work harder as a defender rather than, you know, having a Van Dijk next to you where you can kind of put your foot off the gas a little bit. Because I
yeah,
feel like at times he kind of cruises games, and I feel like he's not heavily focused. I feel like when he broke into the team, I think it was just that, you know what, I'm in the first team now. Like there was a bit of excitement in
yeah,
that, but then I think the thing you mentioned about that Ipswich, I think that really killed his confidence.
yeah,
It hurt his pride, I think, a little bit as well. And just, you probably think, oh, he's a professional, he should deal with it. He's a kid, he's a young kid. So for
yeah,
him, it's like that really hurt him because he thought, I'm starting the Premier League season, new coach. Maybe he sees me as the partner for Van Dijk,
yeah,
and at
yeah.
halftime got taken off.
Because he's so comfortable on the
Yes,
ball and whatnot as well. But yeah, he just seems, in terms of the actual defending, which is what we need him first and
yeah,
foremost to be solid at, he's a bit all over the place. And as you said, not getting enough game time to be able to improve upon it. And don't get twisted, there's been opportunities where it could have been used. Like rushing Kanate back has just been, because
yeah,
Kanate, you could see that was a player that wasn't ready after injury with that Man
oh,
United game. You saw the brace on his leg, etc. And
yeah,
people were cussing Robbo because obviously Ahmad got the shot in on Robbo, just like Jordan Ayew got the shot in on
yeah,
Robbo when we conceded against Leicester. But that ball should not have been able to come into the box anyway.
exactly.
You get what I'm saying? Should
True.
not have been against Leicester. Mavadini played the ball early, went to Ayew. You get me? But Robbo getting spun around doesn't work. But the man that ball shouldn't have come into the box anyway, and that's on the Ibu. And then in the centre, then them lot have not been able to close it down. And then we can see that Robbo gets to blame, even against Southampton. Robbo fouled Tyler Diblin for the penalty. But what the
Yeah,
hell was that pass from Van Dijk beforehand? So
yeah,
don't get
exactly.
twisted. So don't get twisted. No Robbo. And then even their second goal, people were cussing Robbo again. But Canate, you've gone over to the pine. So then the ball's come back across. And then you've left Robbo with two men. And then they've
Yeah,
scored. So
true.
Fernandez has scored. So as much as Robbo's made errors, the other defenders haven't been helping him. That's what I'm saying. It's been at times like Virgil's been defending for four
Too
people,
much.
like coming over
Yeah.
from his left centre back position to the right centre back
Mm,
to make interceptions and clear the ball. What I'm like, goodness me, man. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying?
he's had to
So
cover ground. It's true. He's had to do more work, and it probably gets sort of goes under the radar in terms of
yeah,
what Van Dijk has had to do.
yeah,
But it just shows his quality as an individual player as well,
yeah,
where
yeah, yeah,
he makes it look effortless. So that's why we're not really speaking too highly about that. But
yeah.
it's a very valid point where he's had to cover a lot of the players.
A lot of players.
Konate, I think he's just found his full fitness now. Like when he played against United, he had that knee brace on like he was stone cold. Like it's just not what you want to see from a footballer. Do you know what I mean?
Give me a
So
hell yeah.
so that's not what you wanted to see. Like he went through the walls. I remember seeing him at half time. Like he had the knee brace, but then he had like a cut on his other knee. Like he
Yeah,
just went
and,
through the walls that day. So he just wasn't ready. But
and sadly, that
you know,
just goes show the lack of confidence that Slot
yeah,
has in Kwanzaa.
yeah, and that's
Um,
that's basically also made Endo into a centre back because he doesn't have enough trust in Kwanzaa.
yeah,
Whereas Kwanzaa is a ready-made centre back, so he should have played more
yeah.
games. So
And Endo played a few times for Stuttgart at centre
yeah,
half, but
he
that,
has.
that
Yeah,
that
you're right.
should be your last option. You get what I'm saying? You shouldn't be to
Yes.
put him in there. If he was taller, maybe or whatever, wouldn't have a problem with him. But that shouldn't be like the go-to. That's what I'm trying to say. They're kind of like buying the centre back, but no, it's not even a case where saying you had to break the bank. They could in the summer. Hermoso was free. Matt
Yeah.
Hummels, obviously not as fast, but because we play slower, was free. So as a last option, then you don't mind it because it's hardly like you know what I'm saying. Like if you want to be student, then get someone on a flipping free, bruv. You know what I'm saying? Or scouts do your flipping job and go buy someone from South America. I'm sure you can find one of them that's got a flipping one of the families got a European passport. You get me,
Yeah.
or whatever one of those families, yeah, that's got a tag. Because a lot of Argentines have got like Italian passports and etc.
Yeah.
Whatever,
Yeah.
bruv,
Yeah.
or Spanish or whatever, and flipping get them. It doesn't have to be an 8 to 10 million signing. Like, come on, man, what are these scouts
Yeah.
doing? Where are the
You know
gems?
what?
We're getting no
That
gems.
that really confused me because obviously when we were growing up back in the day, like it was very hard to attain South American players due to like work permits. But
Yeah,
now it's not as difficult to
it's
to
not
get
as
that done.
difficult now.
So look at Brighton. They've brought so many players from South America, like directly from there. Why have we not exploited that market? Are you telling me our scouts aren't in that part of the world? Like, where are you then? Are you with Richard Hughes in Italy, just like chilling on a yacht? Where are you guys? Because for me, it's like these are the things where I feel like has given us success over the years, especially when Michael Edwards was, the director of football, Harry Fraser, because
Yeah,
he was like had a scouting system that found these players around Europe. But I don't feel like we exploited it enough. There were so many players that we were linked with. You mentioned earlier on that the striker from the Greek striker from the German league,
yeah,
he's supposed to be a next, not the next big thing, but he's supposed to be a next prospect.
yeah.
But he's going on to another club. So these are players we should be signing before they hit that next level, rather than us going for him where he's worth 50, 60 million.
But they like
Because
doing
then
that, innit? Because they look at it as because even we were linked, we were meant to get Bruno Guimaraes before he went to
yes,
Newcastle. But then I read something, I'm sure again it was the Athletic, name dropping them. They need to start sponsoring your podcast, Ozzie. And they were talking about how the Liverpool and other top clubs linked to a player have them on shortlist. But if
yeah,
someone else in Europe is buying them, they like to let them come and then review them again to see whether they've adapted to coming
yes.
over to. You know, what nonsense is this? Just buy them flipping them. It don't work. Them flipping loan them out, bruv.
Yeah, exactly. That makes perfect sense. But then that's not how they're doing
Oh
it, which
my
is annoying
god,
me.
man.
Because do you know we've missed out on so many. Enzo Fernandez?
Yep.
We were supposed to buy him
Yes.
before he went to
Yes.
Benfica.
Yes.
But it was the same notion that you just mentioned. They thought, oh, if it goes to Benfica, let's see how he settles there. Well, we know Benfica, they scam us for all the players that they've sold us over the years. Nunes, 80 million.
Yep.
Do you remember Markovic?
Yep.
50 million?
Yep.
We got
What
rinsed by
happened to
these.
their other? What happened? They had a whole host of players that we used to get linked to. What happened to the centre mid, the DM? Is it Florentino Luis? Where did these players go? Like I've
I
not
think
heard
he's
his name
still
for
there, but
time.
he's on the
Unless he
fringes.
unless he had an injury or something like that. And all these obviously it's easier like Portugal or whatever because obviously if to say they
Yeah.
get them from Brazil, there'll be
Yeah, yeah.
like like passport, and it would be easier than getting them to an English team. But like they just seem to just churn them out. Like they got a
Let me see
conveyor
where he
belt.
is.
Isn't Fernandez that's at Southampton now? Didn't he come from Benfica as well?
Yeah, he did.
And he can play. You see him darting box to box through the thing. And I'm just thinking like,
He's still at Benfica, you know. He's still at Benfica. He's just not that guy anymore. Because when we were linked with him, I think he was just going through like a purple patch where
yeah,
he looked like, oh, he could be the new Fabinho.
yeah,
That's
the
what all
guy.
the fans
Yeah,
were
yeah,
saying, right?
yeah, yeah,
But like now he's like last year summer he was linked to Everton. So that's it, his career's going downhill if
yeah.
he's
There
been
you
linked to
go.
Everton and they didn't
Yeah,
even pursue him in the end. So yeah, it's not looking good for him. But yeah. Uh, in terms of the Bournemouth lineup, so let's complete the position. So in the last game, Cook played at right back, so I expect him to start there as well. I know he's normally a centre midfielder, but I think this game he'll play on that side. And then the centre back positions, we've got Zabani, who has been playing recently.
he's done well. He's done well,
Yeah,
bro.
he's done well, to be fair. He's a solid player, to be fair. Whenever he plays, he does do a decent shift for the team. And
Yeah.
then Hussein as well, who's been
Hoyson's on
linked
job,
to
bro.
some. Huh?
He's been on job, bro, man. He's been on job.
Yeah, he looks like I think he could be destined for a big move in the near future. I can see him moving to, like one of the big Spanish teams. Obviously,
Yeah,
Spanish
yeah, because
nationality.
but there was a lot of talk. It wasn't us, I believe, but there was a lot of talk about him. Like obviously they've got him from Juve and whatnot, but
Yeah,
there's been talk about him, bro, because of what he's done at youth level.
no, he looks a serious player. He's a very, very talented player there. In terms of the midfield, I think he'll be Christie. Where is he?
Yeah,
There he is, and alongside him,
And
Tyler
Adams,
Adams.
Adams, yeah,
And I've always rated him as a player. I've always thought he's a very talented player. Unfortunately, injuries have just sort of
yeah.
hampered
You
his
saw
playing
you've
time.
seen you've seen glimpses you see glimpses of what
Decent
um
player.
Adams can do. You get me? Leeds and that. Or Leipzig, obviously. Yeah, he's
Yeah, yeah.
as you said, injuries.
Injuries unfortunately hampered his
See?
development there. But
Because I was watching us at 3 o'clock, I didn't know that Cook played right back on Saturday. I didn't even know because they've loaned
y-
out Max Aaron's, haven't they?
yeah, that's what they normally play, isn't it? Yeah, but he's not been involved
No,
in the team.
Smith's been there, as you said, but you would have thought
Yeah,
Aaron's would have been the natural replacement, but if
yeah.
they've loaned him out, because obviously Cook and Christie centre mid have just been just
Solid, isn't it, for them?
solid, kicking people up, and they both and Cook will keep the passing tickle over and
Yeah,
recycle possession, but Christie's got a shot in him, bro. Like
he can shoot.
you have to watch him, bro.
Yeah,
Some side's
he,
gonna have to put work in, yeah. Mac working, and people love fouling McAllister, so he's gonna have to give as good as he gets, bro.
no, it's true. It's very true. On the right side, I think it will be Brooks for Bournemouth. That's not the Brooks that I want. Uh, there we go. There he is at the top. And then on the left side, it will be Semenyo, I think.
Semenyo, yeah. Semenyo or
Semenyo, and then
Tara,
through the middle.
whichever one should they? Yeah,
And
yeah,
then you've got Otara,
yeah.
who's, yeah, for me, very, very interesting player. Otara, where is he? How do you spell his name? Is it
OUA, I believe.
That's him there, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
Otara. There we go.
yeah,
So
yeah. Django, yeah.
there is this. That is the lineup. Same lineup that actually faced Nottingham Forest last weekend. We've covered in terms of tactical breakdown. It's going to be very, very interesting opposition. Definitely have to be on lookout for the wide players. I think Otara. I
There you
think
go. There you go. The wide players you said it there because I'm thinking if Trent is going to have one of them days where he only wants to run back when he wants to, Kirkes is going to be
yeah,
getting to that byline, bro. Small
yeah,
pitch,
he will.
margin for error not there. No.
Yeah, literally our fullbacks need to make sure they're on top of the game in this one because these guys are definitely gonna try and exploit spaces. So for me is an interesting player because he's gonna have the freedom to roam around, so he can go out wide if he wants to, or he can be around the box, and as evidence was shown over the weekend, he's got a shot on him, and he can shoot from distance, and he can hit the back of net with real ease. So he's a player that can really cause damage. So they've got some very, very good players there. It's not going to be a walk in the park, to say the least. So yeah, let's see, which team actually comes out against us this weekend. So what we'll do now, we'll move on and we'll predict the Liverpool lineup. So in goal, are you Team Kelleher or Team Allison? Double
Nah,
D.
it's gonna Alisson's gonna be in goal because Kelleher might get. I know, but Klopp doesn't really book those. Will be cup games back to back after this. Slot will probably follow what Klopp used to do and probably still play Allison for the semi-second leg, even though I'd be fine with Kelleher being goal for that game and the Plymouth game. He could even play Jaros against Plymouth
Yes,
and then
yeah,
play
give some game plan, wouldn't it?
and
Yeah,
play Kelleher for the second leg. He won't, but I'm just saying, like, you
it's an
get me?
option. Yeah,
Because it's not like Jaros didn't have to come on against Palace. It's like, so
decent to be fair. He's the third choice keeper for Czech Republic, so he can't be that bad. So
that's what I'm saying. Play people and get them ticking over with the experience
mm,
and the minutes. You get what I'm saying?
no, agreed. Definitely agree with that one. I think it's safe to say that we'll both go for Trent on the right side. Um, Janate is not wearing his knee brace anymore, so he should be fully fit
Yeah,
this fixture.
he had a nice little rest. He could
Yeah,
hopefully been putting them hours in training and whatnot, some knee strengthening the knee and that. You get me? So yeah, the captain
does.
goes without saying.
It
Um,
definitely does. Left back,
this is the
Robo
thing.
Simicas.
This is the thing here because they both bloody played against
Yeah,
PSV. I'm gonna go with Zimmerkas.
me too. That's who I've gone for
Joe
as well.
Robbo's in my FPL team because I have not got the facilities at the moment to get him transfer him out. Yeah, I think Simicast and I think Robbo starts against
Yeah,
Everton.
yeah, that makes
Though,
more sense to me.
though there'll be 2 games before that anyway, but yeah,
Yeah, I think Simicast will suit this game a bit more. We'll need a bit more
yeah, the delivery could be
creativity
vital,
from that
wouldn't
left hand side.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, I
Bruv,
think
that corner against Nottingham Forest, Jesus Christ, for Jota's goal. The way
good
he
point.
hit the ball was a mad technique, but it was just in the exact place that it needed to be.
Yeah, beautiful, beautifully executed. No, it really was. In terms of double pivot, it's got to be McAllister and Gravenberch, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
defo. One of them might get on the score sheet still.
Oh, little teaser there in terms of your goal scoring predictions there. Um, number 10, you mentioned earlier on, has to be
It'll be
Szoboszlai, but
Dom.
we need
It'll be
energy.
Dom. That work rate is going to be vital because,
Yeah.
like, with the pitch being small, it'll be easier to transition in.
No, I agree. I think we'll definitely need energy. Salah, of course, will start on the right hand
Yeah,
side.
yeah,
These
defo.
two positions, we've got a player Chiesa who's showing some form again. You've
This,
got Gakpo.
I did because Diaz didn't travel to PSV. It will
Yeah,
be Diaz. It will be It should be Gakpo and Diaz. But
I forgot to mention as well because Nunes was not
News was
available against
ill.
PSG
Yeah,
due
he
to
was ill, wasn't
illness.
it? But I don't. When it made it sound like it's probably like a 1 game illness. You get what I'm saying? But you
Okay,
never know. You never
okay,
know. You get what I'm saying?
you never
Uh,
know. Yeah,
but
so
if you see a Saudi bid come in later on today, then you know why. Yeah. If you see
you
another
heard
bid
it here
come in.
first. Maybe Double D's got some sources that we're not aware of. So okay, if that bid comes in, then we're doing another show very very soon. Um, so who are we playing on the left, or who would you go on the
yeah.
left? Gakpo, you say?
Yeah. With Nunes, you have to go. You have to go. Yeah, left Gakpo. I'm going Gakpo, man. I'm going Gakpo. The G that the people might think Diaz is more aesthetically pleasing, though he's going to end up playing full style just to default, really, because if unless Nunes is fit or not. But Cody's on the matters. I got it from what's that? Alice Abrahams in Cody's last 21 starts. He's got 19 GNA, and then obviously he started yesterday, so that's what 22, 20, and 22. Come on, man.
No.
You might not like some might not like the way he dribbles and whatnot, and they're Lucho lovers, yeah. Yeah, the
No,
code, the Cody crybabies.
is that what they call it there? Do
You
you know
get
what?
me?
With
But
me,
yeah,
Cody Gakpo, I just feel like he's more efficient. I just feel like he
output, bro.
understands that
Yeah,
role. He doesn't need to be, easy on the eye
he
as
doesn't
such.
need to
And
be
don't get me wrong,
flamboyant and whatnot, and he can pop up at the back post and get them headers, man. That's what you want. It's the
listen,
variation to if
he's a
Fabrizio going to
tall
come
guy,
into the
so he
picture.
can
Or,
do that. But his crossing ability, that's what impresses me the most. The cross that he gave to Salah the other day,
yep,
that's what he does week in, week out. And he's got that in his locker. So for me, Diaz is great, he's easy on the eyes. He lifts you off your seat, I guess, in terms of his dribbling style and going past players. But I feel like he overdoes it sometimes.
yep.
And that could lead us to, not creating enough attacks, or he's been slightly too greedy and he's not laying it off to anyone. So
But
for me,
what annoys me on DSL sometimes
mm,
is that he beats a man. So
yeah,
obviously for the take-ons, yeah, the
yeah,
optostats, then flipping it will count. And then turns and passes it inside. Or Robbo
yeah,
flies down the left-hand side, he's right there and open, and he still goes in field.
infield,
Knock
yeah.
it forward. Play Robbo in. Then he
Nah,
plays it across the face. You've created a
mm,
chance. Like it's crazy. It's crazy, but he has to step it up because when he's not been scoring this season, you're looking at some of his performances and been like, you've been anonymous, bro.
yeah, it's
You've been
true.
anonymous.
It's very true. I remember the game that we played in the Champions League. I think it was a couple of weeks ago where he just couldn't do simple passes, but he was doing these outlandish passes like
Oh, it's
40
little.
yards.
I was
Yeah,
screaming. I was screaming for him to come off at half time in that game, bro.
yeah. Because he was doing too much. Like he was doing all these crazy passes. I'm thinking, all right, that's cool, but you're not laying off the simple 5, 10 yard passes that need to be done for us to create that attack. These horrible passes you're doing, they're not really leading to anything. So yeah, I find it a bit frustrating in that game as well.
Yeah,
So, but I think for this fixture, um, you think Diaz will start this one, don't you?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Diaz will start in this one. So this is our predicted lineup. So if you're watching live, guys, feel free to drop a comment, let us know what you think. I'm just gonna go through some of the comments right now, and then we can see what everyone's saying. So Abdul says Bournemouth 1, Liverpool 2. That's his
Come on,
prediction.
come
And
on.
his lineup is Allison, Trent, Van Dijk, Konate, Robbo, McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Salah, Gakpo, and Diaz. So pretty much like us, but he's gone for Robbo instead. It says Bournemouth are no mugs. In form and solid team. Means we're beating them to win the league. You never walk along. Beat up yourself, Abdul. Um, Daz, big up Daz. He says, big up Ozzy. Do you think Darwin plays on Thursday? I think he'll be
Probably will.
available next week.
I probably will.
Yeah, he'll be available next week. I'm not sure about this game. That's why I haven't mentioned them because we've not got any confirmation in terms of how bad that illness was. Was it a little cold or where it was? So we're not too sure. So I think he'll be available for the fixtures next week. So that would be my guess. Um, Abdul said next LFC incoming games: Bournemouth, Spurs, Plymouth, Everton, Wolves, City, Newcastle, Southampton, Villa, Everton. We need to keep on winning. We certainly do. Daz's predicted lineup is Allison, Trent, Virgil, Ibu, Costas, Maka, Ryan, Harvey. Elliot gone
Harvey,
for.
yeah.
Okay, that's
Okay,
interesting.
okay.
Mo, Diaz, Cody, and he's gone for 4-0 victory. That is
Ooh,
positivity right there. So
well,
big up
good.
yourself, Daz.
Man. We'll, we'll go for a little bit, But the joke is, this is the thing. If we cut out defensive errors and whatnot, we have the ability to do that to them. But I don't know. So
It's true.
I'll more go with Abdul's 2-1 score line. You get me?
Abdul said we need to stop making stupid mistakes in our back line and midfield. Forwards needs to be more clinical on goal and chat back. Yeah, it's logical stuff, but unfortunately, our team is not doing that on occasion. So yeah, it's definitely something that needs to be addressed and worked on a little bit more from the
Well,
team.
we need to batter these teams. We get to a certain amount of goals and just take the foot. I
I
was so
know.
worried against Tottenham. I was so worried it was that Tottenham game. Like,
Yeah,
I honestly believe if we never go straight away after they pulled it back to 5-3, I honestly believe that Tottenham would have scored again. We were that much off it. We just stopped playing at 5-1. Just stopped.
true. It's crazy. Hopefully, we can switch up in the second leg. Obviously, still half time, but yeah.
Oh no, not first leg. I mean the league game. I mean when we beat them
The league.
6-3,
Oh,
remember
okay. Sorry.
they
Yeah.
pulled it back to 5-3. I'm saying that
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
reckon they
Yes.
would have pulled it back to
Yeah.
5-4 if we never scored straight away when Salah fed Diaz. They
Yeah.
weren't
You're
on it.
right.
Slot was cussing them in the press conference. He was cussing them. He said that's the worst 10 minutes that he's seen, bruv. He said they
Yeah.
just stopped playing
Exactly.
football, bro. We
Yeah.
gave Solanke so much room. Just switch it off. And that's what I'm saying. We can only beat ourselves. I don't think that any of the chasing pack with the amount of games City's
Yeah.
dropped and the
Yeah.
fact that when we've drawn, Arsenal have been drawing, so only once they've won when we've drawn to gain points on us. We
Yeah.
could be our own worst enemies in this thing
It's true.
by beating ourselves, bro. Otherwise,
Mm.
it's there. It's there, man.
No, it's very true. I definitely agree with that. Abdul says to sustain our competitive advantage, we must strategically acquire additional players, mirroring the success investment strategies employed by United and City and Chelsea over the past decade. Unfortunately, we've got FSG under our ownership, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. Um, if we had Roman Abramovich as our owner, then we're talking differently because he's put his money where his mouth is, but we
Yeah.
don't have that kind of ownership, unfortunately. Abdul says our head coach is appropriately oversees expectation and owners provided zero adequate support on the pitch. We need ambitious owners and want to win every year. I definitely agree with that comment there.
Yeah.
Abdul says the team requires the immediate return of Jota and Gomez to bolster our team this season. We are going all for all trophies.
Yeah.
Gomez is back, which is good, but Jota, I don't think we'll see him anytime soon. If I'm being brutally honest, if I was to make a prediction, I think he'll be back in March, like early mid
For
March.
real.
I
Ah,
don't
I
know what it is.
I
I feel
think
like they're
I
not going to
think
rush
mid
him. So even
I
if he's
think
fully
mid
fit,
yeah, I think mid Feb. I think after the Everton game, I think he'll be available.
he'll be
That's just
available.
my
But I don't think he'll
personal
start though. I think he'll be.
take.
I think he'll be like fully in the mix of the team. I think early March, if I'm being
Yeah,
honest, early mid March is my prediction. But hopefully, he's there sooner rather than later. Abdul says Chiesa needs to be used. He certainly does, in my opinion. I think he will be in the upcoming games.
yeah,
Abdul says we need to sell Deadwood like Nat Phillips, Reese Williams, Cameron
yeah.
Ramsey, Gomez,
Oh, whoa,
Matete.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa, whoa, whoa.
I
Go,
would go
Gomez
with
and
Joe
no,
Gomez
no,
there.
get Gomez and Elliot off that list, Abdul.
Yeah, yeah, like that's our fellow South London right there. So we
Get
can't do
Gomez.
that. Bassett, yeah, Bassett, I can't understand. Elliot, no, for me, Elliot, I like Elliot, so I like what he brings to the table. So I wouldn't sell Elliot.
Yeah,
Nunes, yeah, I've been vocal about Nunes. So I'm not gonna
yeah,
sugarcoat that
yeah,
any further.
yeah,
And Endo, I like Endo as well, but I think for Endo is probably where he deserves to play somewhere where he's getting more minutes. I think he's a good player. I don't feel like he should be on the fringes of our squad. But if he stays, I wouldn't have any qualms about it. I'll still be like, you know what, good option to have.
yeah,
But as a individual, I think maybe he'd want to pursue somewhere else and play
yeah,
first team football. Because I
yeah,
do feel like um,
yeah.
yeah, he
Well,
deserves to be playing
he,
first team somewhere,
he
even
just
in the
not.
Bundesliga or
Yeah,
somewhere else. But like he's good enough to do that.
yeah.
Question: was that a red to you both last night?
I didn't
Which
think so.
one?
I thought it was a yellow and cool. Done, but I didn't watch all the angles, admittedly, because I had Atalanta and Barca on my laptop. I was trying to use my
Yeah.
teleconnect powers to make sure that Barca didn't
What
win.
incident was this again? I've forgotten. What incident is he referring to?
The sending off the young boy we wanted a youth player.
Oh, I
And the
thought it
ball
was a
went
yellow.
over
To
the
be
top.
fair,
I said, yeah, I thought it was a yellow too. And then he fouled, and
because
they were saying last
Consta
man.
was running at full speed,
Yeah,
so I feel like Consta would have caught up with Bakayoko. I think it
yeah,
was. So
yeah,
yeah, I thought it was harsh, but the referee had a bit of an awful game anyway. He was giving out fouls and yellows like no business. So
mm,
yeah, I don't think it was a red. No, so definitely did not think that was a red. Now the big question for you, Double D,
mhm.
what is your score prediction for this game
Bournemouth nil, Liverpool
and
7.
goal scorers as well, please?
Bournemouth nil, Liverpool 7. No, I'm joking. Um, yeah, I'll probably agree with Abdul. Probably 2-1. I'd love to keep a clean sheet. Probably 2-1. Goal
Yeah,
scorers. Semenyo or Tara for them. For us,
yeah.
uh, I think Diaz will turn up. I'm actually gonna go. No, actually, Mo Salah. I might use my triple captain on Salah. So let me put the. Then again, he
Are
can get
you
the assist.
okay?
Then again, he can get the assist. Like I'm gonna go Diaz. Let me go a bit risque. I'm gonna go Diaz, Diaz and Soberslai to continue his rich vein of form,
Okay,
assisted by Salah and Gakpo.
I like that. Do you know what's funny, Double D? I think me and you are on joint points on in my FPL group.
I've not even checked it. I was so annoyed this week because I lost by 2 points. Obviously, if we hadn't conceded that dumb goal against Ipswich, I would have won. In like my intention, I've not even bothered to open the app to check my overall points, bro.
I know, tell me about. I need to make sure I update the team because I always forget. So yeah, I need to do that after the show today. Now in terms of my prediction, I'm gonna be slightly more optimistic. I'm gonna go for 3-1. Um,
This is what
in terms of my
energy.
goals,
I like it. Energy.
yeah, I think don't get me wrong, it's gonna be one of those scorelines where is it will appear that we were dominant, but I don't think it's gonna be that kind of game. I think it's gonna be quite tough. I feel like it will be where if I have to make a bold prediction, I think they'll score first. We'll
Ooh.
equalize and then we'll score later on. We'll just get a couple of goals in the last 10, 15 minutes.
Do you think Allison's going to get peppered with shots?
He will, because like you mentioned earlier on, Double D, they like to shoot. They're not strangers to shooting, so and they got some players that can really shoot as well.
Oh,
So that's why I think they'll get the goal, but I think we will probably deploy sort of not a defensive tactic, but I think we'll be a bit more stronger as a defensive unit and not try and leak any goals going forward. So for me, I'm going for Semenyo to score against us. He normally likes to get a goal against us, doesn't he? So I
yeah.
think he's destined
Him,
to score again.
him and
And
Kirkes and
yeah,
us, and they're all auditioning, aren't they?
yeah, we're on Kirk watch, aren't we? So yeah, and Semenyo, he's been linked to the club. So yeah, definitely right on that. And then for Liverpool, I'm gonna go for Cody Gakpo. I think he's gonna continue his goal scoring streak. And Mohamed Salah is going to get 2 goals. So if you've got him as your triple captain, then more points tally
Salah,
for you.
Salah.
So that is my score prediction there. Um, Before we wrap up the show, me and Double D are going to do something different. So Double
Come on,
D is a big wrestling fan,
come on.
and I am as well. To be fair, I've grown up watching wrestling. So I thought today we'll do like a small segment. You got something to say, Double D?
No. I'm saying I'm putting my ones up, bruv.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're Roman Reigns.
I'm saluting my tribal chief, bruv.
So yeah, so I thought we'll do like a small segment in terms of the upcoming uh PLE, which stands for Premium Live Event, and that is Royal Rumble, which takes place this Saturday on Netflix. So pretty much what we've done in terms of Bournemouth versus Liverpool, we're gonna do our breakdown and our predictions of the matches taking place in the Royal Rumble. So um I'm seeing comments already. So let me see what people are saying. Um
Do you know what? Let me put the YouTube on my phone so I know what's going on because obviously
Yeah, go for it, go for it. You
we're in
put
the.
it on
Let
your
me see.
screen.
Let me
So
see.
I,
Let me see what
I,
people
I
say.
think you'll be able to see the comments on your screen. I've enabled you
Who
to do
recruit
that.
these
So
refs and no review
yeah,
these refs? They are
they are
sacking the offences we need
significantly
better.
better
Oh,
in yeah.
definitely.
Oh, I agree with
Refs,
you, Abdul. The
the refs are a
referees are
joke.
a joke nowadays, honestly. Especially in the Champions League, they're so inconsistent. Like I thought Premier League was bad. Like Champions League, some of them got their own rules. Like they just make it up on the spot. So it's mad. Goals. So this is Daz's prediction. Goals come from Mo, two Diaz, and Van Dijk.
That's
You
what I
could
like
see
to
Van
hear.
Dijk on the score sheet. To
Yeah,
be
Van
fair,
Dijk drew a header from a corner, man. Jesus.
yeah. I remember one game he had like two, three headers. I'm thinking, come on now, you got to
Three,
score
yeah,
one.
two
But
of them
yeah,
hit the woodwork, innit? What game was that? It was at Anfield. What game was that?
yeah,
The guy just kept in the it might have been
yeah.
City. It might have been the 2
I
0
think
against
it
City.
was.
One.
Yeah,
He hit the outside of the post. I think one got tipped onto the bar, went onto the roof of the goal or something like that. I was like, "Yeah, sure."
yeah.
So we were all nervous until the Diaz got fouled for the penalty because we could have really battered Manchester City, bro. We came out the way we
Mm,
came out. If we came out like that every single game, no one will beat us. That's not. I'm not even
it's true.
gassing. I'm not even guessing. We fiddle about at the start sometimes and then wait to see the big shots will go behind. Then we actually realise how good we are and come back and beat the team. I mean,
No, it's true. It's very true. Dada said Jota Gomez back on the 12th of Feb, Jones on Saturday. So that's interesting. I did not know that. So if that is the case, that means we should be having a fully fit squad
yeah,
in the next week or so, which is good news for us. Abdul says Liverpool Saturday LFC game, Adam Aziz fight, then Shara Bullet fight, and Benavidez fight. So yeah, so the Adam Aziz one, I think that will clash with the UFC. So I'm probably going to watch the UFC because it's in Saudi, so the timing is perfectly for us UK fans. So it'll be around 5, 6 o'clock. So I'll be watching that, and then
What? Oh, what? The Saudi, the boxing, yeah.
yeah, the UFC that's in Saudi.
Oh, you okay? I don't know.
So you've got Michael Venom Page. He's fighting as well, so he'll be
Oh,
fighting.
Adam Azim. I wasn't looking at the thing. I thought you said
Oh,
Aziz.
Adam
No,
Aziz. So yeah, I think his fights in the UK, but
yeah, no. I'm saying I thought he was talking about a boxing thing. I forget. Yeah,
oh yeah, yeah.
got you.
Yeah, do you know what? Everything's in Saudi now, to be fair. So yeah,
Oh,
but yeah, that's the lineup there. Daz has said, um, WWE Royal Rumble. Yep, that's what we're about to do very shortly.
yeah.
Abdul said WWE is match fixed and predictable. So you know the analogy that I give to fans when they say about this about wrestling. So I say, look, wrestling's kind of like watching a movie where you know the characters, you know what's going to happen, but you're still going to watch it though, right? You don't know what the outcome's going to be. So that's wrestling for you. Like we know it's premeditated in terms of who wins, but we don't know who the winners are. So that's the entertainment aspect of it, isn't it? So yeah. So for us, I think for me, Double D is more nostalgia because we grew up watching
Yeah,
wrestling. So
nostalgia because when we were kids, it was you get me.
yeah,
The
wrestling
era.
was something else in our day. So yeah, I was speaking to my missus as well. I'm thinking, do you know what? If wrestling was how it was when I watched it, I would not let my son watch wrestling. That is not an option. So,
Wild when we
it,
started, and then obviously
bro,
then you had that attitude era, and then obviously it went into ruthless aggression, and then it was a
yeah,
mad, it was a
yeah.
madness.
I
Attitude
was
era was wild,
that's
wild.
the that's
Like
the era that I was
the
watching. So yeah,
the sexism, the
everything,
prejudice.
bro.
There was some racism in it. It was crazy, bro. They would
Yeah, it was
never
mad.
get away. They would never get away with that stuff today, man.
Nah, it
Made
would
it
get
child
cancelled.
friendly. The world's more populated now than back then. Make it more child friendly. You're still going to do bits because the kids are going to be bugging their parents to buy merchandise and all them things there. You
Yeah,
get me?
true.
So yeah, it's all mad, bro.
Nah, it's so true. That is saying the Rumble starts at 11. Is that true, Double D? I thought it was at 1
I've not checked,
a.m.
you know. It probably does, and it's the kickoff show at 11. Probably it probably starts at 11 kickoff show, and
Ah,
then the
okay,
rumble
okay.
starts. Yeah, yeah. Because
Because
obviously
that's something I wanted to confirm as well.
they've got to
So,
fit in both rumbles. It will probably start at 12 and be a 4 hour thing.
do you know
So
what?
you kickoff show
I'm gonna
11, and then they'll
No, do
probably
you know
start
what?
with
He's right. He's right. It does start 11
for real.
in the UK. The show begins because I remember watching an ad the other day, and they were telling their American viewers that it's on a lot earlier than normal. So for
Oh
us, it's
wow.
11 p.m.,
Oh wow. Well, that's good to
which
do it
is
earlier night. You get me? Earlier night.
yeah. Do you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I don't mind that because it'll probably be wrapped up in like 2, 3 hours. So yeah, I'm all for that. I'm not mad at that one. And Abdul says movies are rubbish nowadays. Yeah, it's true, actually. I feel like it's only selected of movies that you'd want to go out. Like, I feel like with certain movies where you want to go to the cinema and watch. If
Yeah.
not, you just wait for it to come on like Netflix or your streaming platforms and then just watch it from there,
And the
isn't it?
thing is that with the price of the cinema, sometimes you might as well just wait because it comes to TV and that now. Well, if you've got
Yeah,
Sky
true.
anyway,
And
so
you know
quickly
how
it will be pay
nowadays
as
we
you
have
go
to wait
on
like 6
different
months for
platforms.
it to come out on like DVD or whatnot, or
It's
even
like two
video
and a half
clips.
months now, isn't it? It's like two and a half months. It's already
Well,
coming on
even
Sky.
quicker than that. Some movies come out like in a month,
Yeah,
and it's on like streaming
because
platforms,
if you've got like BT
Prime
Free
and
or
them ones.
whatever, Prime and then one's there, you can rent the thing in it. You can rent
Yeah,
the movie for probably less than you pay if you go cinema and get
exactly.
food and drink at the
And
cinema. Yeah,
eventually you can buy it as well,
oh,
like within like
yeah,
2, 3 weeks
buy it,
afterwards.
yeah.
So
Within like 3 weeks or a month after it's been in the cinema.
yeah,
So
so
yeah,
it's a different game now. Movies is a different game. I feel like you spend more money on food and drink when you go cinema than the actual ticket anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
getting bumped in terms of a snack. So yeah, let's start our wrestling segment, which I'm sure Double D is excited to do because you know we're wrestling fans and it's something we've never done before on screen. So let's just see how it goes. So there we go, Royal Rumble graphic right there for you guys. So let's go
Yes.
through the matches. So before I even do that, I'm quite surprised that there's not that many matches. Maybe you can enlighten me as well, because normally with Royal Rumbles, you'll get
These adverts, bro. Both rumbles will be around about an hour anyway, right? Or
on
maybe just
average,
over.
isn't it? Yeah,
But with these well, they're PLEs now, isn't it? They were pay-per-views. They're
yeah,
so like so many adverts now. Now they've got the advertising in the ring, etc. So many
Yeah.
adverts, but I want to see because this will be the first one on Netflix how they run it. Because when Raw, SmackDown, NXT, you'll get some interviews, but otherwise they have to screen with the wrestlers doing different poses, and there'll be a countdown in the top corner. Surely, if
Yeah.
it's a PLE, they just got to let it run, and there's not going to be as much. There's going to be a lot of commercials and
So is there going to be ads in
promos
this
and
one?
that. Yeah, there'll be ads for
Oh
whoever's
God.
sponsoring it.
Okay.
Um, because they've got, but I want to see how they work it because us in the UK might not be viewing the same as
Yeah.
how it
Yeah.
was before. You get me? Because they've got them sticks. I can't remember what they've called, but they've got that like them sticks things. They've been sponsoring it. So there'd always
Oh,
be
okay.
an advert for that or whatever. The name's not coming to me. It'll probably come to me when the podcast is finished and
Mhm.
whatnot. And
Yeah.
so yeah, all those type of things there. But I don't
Branding
know
and
if it's
stuff.
going to run because it's on Netflix. Us in the UK might not even have that. We might just have something else in between
Because I
this.
think with us, it might be because we were speaking about this offline, where with certain shows you get those 3 minute intermissions. So
Yeah,
it might be something like that, or it might just be where it's like their own adverts. So if it's a merchandise advert about the new
yeah,
shirt or the
yeah,
latest
yeah,
offer, I
exactly.
prefer that rather than it
But,
being,
yeah,
gaps in between. Because I feel like that can it could be a bit boring when you have
yeah,
to wait
the
3 minutes for the
WWE store or whatever. You get me?
yeah, exactly. So I'd rather because I know when you had the WWE app, like it was smooth, like you wouldn't have any ads on it. So hopefully it's that kind of experience um on Netflix. But we'll soon find out. It's going to be the first PLE on Netflix, so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
Yeah,
So there's only, from what I know, so you might correct me, Double D. There's only 4 matches scheduled. So you've got a tag team match, you've got the match for the WWE Undisputed Championship, and then you've got the
yeah.
two Royal Rumbles for men's and women. There's no more matches scheduled, is there? From what I know,
I don't think so. I
no.
don't.
Unless they announce it, because you've still got SmackDown tomorrow. Unless they
Yeah,
announce
so there
something,
might be a match they cook up on there, but yeah. So
yeah,
yeah, I don't believe there is with
no,
the UFC being set because I know that there was some talk about because obviously the merger with UFC that
yeah.
the PLEs would either start at a different time
I
because
think they
obviously
actually go
UFC
back
was
to back. So I think
11.
UFC will finish around 11, and then
Yeah, and
this
then
will
this
start
will
straight
start.
away.
Yeah, so this was
Yeah.
the start at a different time for future ones. Even there's talk of when UFC is at a normal time that there might be one or two pay per views that are actually on a Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because obviously with the merger and that, I don't know if they're definitely going through with that, but
Yeah.
I did read that somewhere.
Okay. So this is probably going to be the opening match. So it's the WWE Tag Team Championship.
They might start
Uh,
with one of the rumbles, you know. They might start with the men's rumble. They might
do you
start
think
probably
so?
no the
Actually, they
women's. They
might,
probably start with the women's rumble, you know, and then these two matches, then
Mm,
finish with the men's or vice versa. I don't know
you
if this
might be
match will
right.
be first.
But this is, do you know, I might sound a bit out of order. This match kind of feels a bit underwhelming for me, if I'm being brutally honest. Uh,
It there's a good storyline behind it because Johnny
yeah,
Gargano is friends with was friends with the Motor City Machine
yeah,
Guns, but then he switched on them and did a low blow for these not to get their titles back. So
yeah,
there's a story there that if it wasn't for all this bloodline stuff and all these other things going on, would
yeah.
have got more time and would have cooked more. So I think they'll retain, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lose it. But then that will be too really short range for them because they won the titles and then the next week they lost it to Jacob Fatu and Tongaloa when they
Yeah.
first got the belt. So
Mm.
we'll see how it goes. We'll see how
The
it
thing,
goes.
the interesting thing about this match is that it's I think Daz has just mentioned it here as well.
Mm.
It's a 2 out of 3 falls, so
Yeah,
it
yeah,
won't be
that
like a
will make it
standard tag
cook.
team match. It'll be
Yeah,
a
that
bit
will make
prolonged.
it. Yeah, that will make it cook with it being. It has to be because, as you said, unless there's something they could add that we didn't know about.
Yeah,
Um, oh no, wait, there's a triple threat match, isn't there? Triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship. It's Bron Breakker, Sheamus, and someone, if I'm
is
not
that
mistaken.
confirmed?
I'm sure that's for the Rumble. If not, that's for Raw. But let me because
Ah, okay.
I'm sure it's for the Rumble though.
Let me have a look. Because I went on the
You got somewhere you could get the card?
site today and there wasn't any mention of unless because because they've got SmackDown tomorrow, they might make it official tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, I might be wrong.
I can't see anything to be fair.
Must be for Raw then. It must be for
It
Monday.
might be. It might be. So in terms of your prediction for this one, what do you think is going to be the outcome? Who do you feel will win this match?
I think they'll
Is it
retain.
going to be
I,
DIY or is it going to be
I, I,
the Mox City Machine Guns?
I think DIY will retain some
You think they'll retain?
flipping, some more dark arts from Gargano. It'll be what for them to win 2 falls to 1.
Okay.
Uh,
If do you know what I'm gonna go for I'm gonna go for the other team. I'm gonna go for the Motor City Machine Guns because what I've seen from
that's
them
it.
in terms
Yeah.
of
Mm,
on SmackDown, like
yeah.
I find them quite impressive in terms of what they
They're a
bring
proper
to
tag team. They're old school. They're a proper
yeah
tag team, like
or
the revival, and then because a lot of these tag teams are put together. But obviously, DIY were a tag team in NXT. But
NXT.
I
Yeah,
think the Motor Teams they're sick. But they've been around the world and that. But obviously, because I've mainly stuck with WWE, I didn't know too much about them before.
too
But yeah,
much.
they're sick still.
No, same. I haven't really followed NXT too much over the years, but yeah, it's definitely one where I know they've got history there. So we're interested to see what happens in this match. The next one, I think this is the one that's going to definitely
But
appeal to a lot of the fans.
But
It's
I,
Cody
I,
Rhodes
I,
versus
with
Kevin
every
Owens.
fibre in my body, I want Kevin Owens to win, but Cody's going to
See
retain.
why?
Only because Kevin Owens is absolutely hilarious.
He is.
He's brilliant, and he's not held a world title since he had that run when him and Chris Jericho were
Oh yeah, when they
besties,
had a
like
feud.
that finished in 2017, and then obviously Owens switched on him, and then was there. Kevin Owens is brilliant. Did you see the other day when he was in the car on SmackDown about a month ago, and he was with
Yeah.
Michael Cole, and
Michael
then
Cole,
he told Cole to get out of the car, and then he was talking to him, and then as Cole was answering, he rolled the window up. I was
yeah.
in tears. He was like, Michael,
Oh, I saw that. That
the
was quite
guy
funny.
is the guy is hilarious, bruv. You get me? But you see, the
I'm
thing
not gonna
is,
lie, I like the belt though. That's proper nostalgia right there, isn't it? The belt.
sick. Like, yeah, the winged eagle belt is
Yeah.
the
Who
That's
comes to
when
mind when you see that belt?
we first started, bruv. It just takes you back
Yeah.
to
For
primary
me,
school, bro.
that's got Bret Hart written all over it. That belt. That was his trademark belt, innit? He used to have that belt
Oh
all the time.
man, you get me, but flipping. But yeah, now Cody will win, but there'll be a twist
Yeah.
because I think Cody holds the belt until at least Mania.
Yeah, it has to be.
Because otherwise, for all that's gone on, like it wouldn't make sense to do so just yet. But yeah, Kevin Owens is absolutely hilarious, sick
Yeah.
wrestler, and should have held more titles. But um, you know, sometimes the booking is questionable. But yeah, the guy's great, man. The guy's
I think his
he
heel
makes
turn's
me laugh.
good as well because obviously I think he does both roles well in terms of being a baby face and a heel. But I feel like the heel suits him. You get to see his personality a
Yeah,
little bit more,
yeah,
and he's just a bit more out there. And I feel like it suits him in terms of what he brings to the table. So
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad this is a sort of a ladder match rather than it being a traditional
Yeah, a
match. I feel
normal,
like
yeah, traditional match. Yeah, yeah, because we've seen them do that
yeah, we've already seen
before.
him fought
So
last few months ago,
yeah,
isn't it? So
we don't need to see
yeah,
eight crossroads from Cody before he wins. You get what I'm saying? Like, let them ladder match. We'll see how it goes. There'll probably be some interference which will help Cody win. I don't know who it would be. I think probably maybe Sami Zayn comes to try and right his wrongs and then inadvertently helps Cody win, and then another
yeah.
bloody Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn beef or something like that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
nah.
been beating up his
uh,
mates in the last 2 weeks as well, so he's not had a good run, Sami Zayn. He's
Yeah,
been
yeah, yeah. And they're probably setting that up for a Sammy Hill turn, which will be interesting because
yeah,
when Sammy was at Hill last time, the way he used to cuss out the crowd was crazy, man, about how they're entitled and that. So it'll be interesting. Then again, could this be the first match, actually? Do you think it could be this, then one of the Rumbles, then the tag team match, and then another
it
Rumble to
could
end
be.
it?
It could be. I think last year it was the women's Royal Rumble that kicked it off, isn't it? From what I remember.
Yeah, it was either the women's or the men's that started it off, and then
Yeah.
it was
I think they might do one of the Rumbles. I think because it's on Netflix as well, I feel like it might
makes
just be
sense to start
where,
with a Rumble, innit? And then this is
yeah,
the But then will this be the last match, or will the other ladder match be the last match? Because sorry, not other ladder match, the other rumble. I mean, be the last match. Because
Yeah,
for me, you have to end with a rumble. Not necessarily have to start with one, but you have to end with
that's
one.
true.
But
That's true.
yeah, but even though we expect Cody to win, this
Yeah,
match could have the potential to be crazy, bruv. That's
yeah,
crazy.
I think so as well. Yeah, I think you're right in terms
Bloodline,
of
Bloodline might not even get involved.
who do you think will get involved?
The Bloodline might even get involved
Yeah,
in
they
this.
might do.
You know what I mean?
For some reason, I can see Drew McIntyre getting involved. I don't know why.
Oh, definitely, because obviously yeah, there's a definite possibility of that. Depends
Yeah,
how long he features in the Rumble for, unless
yeah,
the Rumble is after it.
yeah.
You get me?
Exactly. It
You
depends
get
on
me?
what match goes first
If
as
it's
well, isn't it?
before it, if this is before the Rumble, Drew will get involved because Sami
Yeah,
Zayn will probably come out as well. Probably
yeah.
there'll be a minimum of two wrestlers that get involved. It's just going to be mayhem, bro. I'm looking forward to it. So it's going to be it's going to be carnage, bro.
I'm gonna go slightly back because I've just got a comment here
Yeah.
from Daz, and he says that the Motor City Machine Guns to
Ooh,
win,
the
then
Young
the
Bucks
Young Bucks come
to
from
come from AEW.
AEW.
I can't stand the Young Bucks, by the way, but yeah, though they had one of the best tag team matches I've seen in recent years. They
Yeah,
against the Lucha Brothers a couple of years ago. I think it
yeah,
was
yeah.
2021 AEW event. But yeah, interesting if the Bucks come um, to WWE because that's Kevin Owens' boys from back in the day. Still,
But they've got issues with CM Punk, haven't they?
yeah. So that would be a very
That would
interesting
even make
signing because
sense.
yeah, that's who CM Punk. Yeah, yeah, had the madness with Jack Perry, and then obviously them lot were involved. Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
be interesting.
It might if that was to happen, it could be like a one-off cameo. But if Young Bucks were to come through, it's not going to be one-off, is it? I don't know if this is. Yep, look, it'd be wild if it does happen, but
Yeah.
I don't see this one happening to be fair. But it's an interesting shout to be honest with you. So in terms of your prediction for Cody Rhodes against Kevin Owens, who do you think will be victorious?
I'm going to go with Cody. I want Kevin to win, but I'll go with Cody.
Yeah, I'm going for
Just
Cody as
like I
well.
want Liverpool to keep a clean sheet, but I don't know if they're going to do it on
Yeah, got to
Saturday.
keep going, isn't it? So no, it'll be interesting. So let's move on to the Rumble. So I've got a
Yeah,
neutral picture. So we can start with the women's Rumble. What are
yeah.
you expecting to happen in this one? Are you expecting any
I
surprises? Do you know what I was surprised about though, actually,
mm,
before I even start?
yeah.
Charlotte Flair,
I was just
that
about to
they
say her name.
announced the
You've
intro.
you've got my pick just there, Charlotte. The crowd don't like it, but you've got my pick right there. Charlotte is money.
Yeah,
Regardless of whether the fans like it or not.
yeah,
Flipping, it's the first Rumble on Netflix. I've seen her picture advertised. I thought at first I was seeing things because I was falling asleep watching Raw the other day because I'd work to do in the morning. Um, and I saw her face. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Charlotte
but I feel
was.
like they should have just kept that as suspense because you know with Royal Rumble, you got to have that surprise
That's what I'm
element.
saying, a surprise person to come,
But
unless they would do a move that would fully rate and Jade Cargill makes her come back, because I think secretly it might have been Naomi that attacked
yeah,
them, and Jade Cargill comes back. If Jade Cargill was to win, then I'm all for it. But yeah, I'm gonna
I
go
was
with
gonna say
Charlotte.
another name that could be in the hat. Maybe you see the return of Becky Lynch.
Interesting. That would be interesting. If she resigned, that would be. I think Becky wants to take more time out.
Oh, does
Um,
she? Okay.
no. I don't know if definitely. I'm just saying. I think I
Yeah.
could be
It
way
could be
off.
when she just makes an appearance in the Rumble, isn't it? So,
Yeah. It would be interesting to make up. But Becky, what year did Becky win the Rumble?
do you know what? I actually watched the I watched the replay on
I'm trying to
WWE
think.
the other day.
I'm sure Becky won the thingy. So yeah, maybe not, but there's a possibility. Lots of people win
Mm.
the Rumble twice, so there's a possibility. You get me? I think Becky this time off is good, and they've been raising their kid, who's only a few years old, on the road.
Oh, okay.
So basically, I think probably she would wanted at least a year out to be a mum before bringing the child back on the
You know
road
what? That's fair.
with them. But I could be wrong. But yeah, that's not a bad shout actually. But yeah, I wasn't as high on Becky as some other people were, and I get absolutely lambasted for it
See,
in wrestling quarters. Yeah. I like her, but I just think that like the whole man thing got overdone at a stage.
yeah.
And I think she's a good wrestler, but not as great as some made out. And I get people don't like it when I've said that before. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
You know, her last title run, and then obviously Liv beat her for the title. Didn't I? Didn't think that there was any need for it when she won the battle royal on Raw, but it's what it is, isn't it?
No, it's very true. Do you expect to see anyone from TNA? Because that's what happened last year when you
Yeah,
had.
yeah, yeah. Because they've been doing
Yeah,
a merger anyway, but they've officially got a merger now. So
they have the. Yeah, they
what's
have.
her face, Jordan Grace, that from TNA is apparently signed into WWE permanently.
Yeah, I think she said her goodbyes with
Yeah, yeah. So I expect
her
to see
team.
her. They'll probably bring out an old school person with it being Netflix as well.
Who would be the old
Old school people.
school
It could be
wrestler? Do you
anyone.
think?
It could be anyone. It could be Jacqueline. It could be Kelly Kelly. It could be Undertaker's wife. Could be Michelle McCool. It could be anyone, bruv.
Michelle McCool. I think
They
that's
might even
that
get one. They might even get one of the Bellas out. If you get what I'm saying, might even get one
apparently,
of the Bellas
apparently,
out.
there's rumors circling that they're actually trying to get them signed to a contract. So as they're trying to get them back on board. So it
That
could
would
be
be
one of
interesting. Yeah,
the better tunes that come back. So you never know. So I do think there will be some surprise elements
yeah.
to the
And maybe,
Rumble. It'll be
and maybe,
interesting to see if Jade Cargill makes a return. Actually, that would
yeah,
be
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah. If Jade, yeah, I think if Jade was to,
She's
I think,
destined to return, though. I
yeah,
think.
as I was saying before, if Jade does, then I think she might win it, bruv, and that would be the crowd will go mad, bruv.
So, what's your prediction with or without Jade Cargill? What would you go? So you can give me two names, I guess.
Charlotte, unfortunately, Charlotte. My
Oh, you mean Charlotte Flair, regardless,
actual
is going
pick,
to win.
Charlotte, which the crowd don't like, but Netflix don't care. Or my risque pick is Jade Cargill if she comes into it. I'm trying to think of a third person. If there's so many women that would be deserving, like because the women's division they do a lot of like matches that go under the radar. They for many a year the women's matches have been carrying, because there's been men injured or there's been predictable booking with the men. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm trying to think of a third name. Charlotte Jade, or because they won't make one of the women that I like in the ring with it, like a Zoe Stark or
Mm,
Shayna Baszler. I think Shayna Baszler's booking has been atrocious, and they've just appeased her by repeatedly giving her the tag team titles.
mm.
Unless Oscar can make a comeback, but I'm sure Oscar's got a long term injury.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Oscar, to
She's
be
another
fair.
person. She's another person that's been booked badly. They started her off like she was going to be one of the greatest of all time because she was unbeaten for 2 years in NXT, and she come to the main roster, won the Rumble, and then flipping she lost to Charlotte, didn't she? Nonsense.
Mm.
So yeah,
Some interesting names there, to be
so
fair. What
yeah,
about
yeah.
Io Sky?
I love Io Sky. Another person who was badly booked. Her title run was not booked well, but I think she's a brilliant wrestler.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mm.
that's it. Yeah, I'll go Charlotte or Jade.
Yeah, I think if Jade does make a return, I don't think she'll win it. I think it will be something to kind of start a feud with the person that beat her up. So it could
So
be
yeah, I think
whoever.
Naomi can.
It could be
I,
Bianca.
I,
It could be
if Bianca did,
Naomi.
that would set up by her and Bianca for WrestleMania, but that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a good 2 months you'd have to cook for. That's very complex to do with the women because the women are not going to get as much screen time as the men. So
yeah,
if that was the fallout, then that would need to happen closer to
yeah.
Mania. But yeah, it probably was Bianca that did it, and that would be interesting.
Or Naomi, because Naomi became the tag team champion as
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
matriarch.
yeah. That's what I was saying earlier. I think Naomi
Yeah,
probably did it, but now I'm thinking about it, that would be a mad
that would be mad. Yeah,
flipping plot twist if it was Bianca. You get
yeah.
me? Because
I'm interested.
Bianca used to cook as a heel on NXT. She used to cook, bruv. The way she would cuss people, like that would be sick. Because they were actually going to do that. I don't know if you saw that. They were
Mm,
actually when Bobby Lashley and that was still in there, they were going to make this new Hurt business. They were going to turn them heel. So they had the Street Profits come out and beat up Rey Mysterio and that, but the crowd cheered it. So because that failed, they thought we got to make them heel because they're still so over. So they scrapped all that, and now Lashley and MVP and that didn't extend anyway. Shelton Benjamin is on an AEW now, and flipping Cedric Alexander's on NXT. So yeah, I really don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. As we said off film, I don't know what they're gonna do with Trick. now he's not NXT champion anyway because
Mm.
bring him to the main roster and having beef with Carmelo Hayes. Because in the last 2 weeks, they've been people have been switching brands, and they've
Quite a
not
lot,
even
yeah.
made a big thing of it. Usually, they wait until the draft, but they've not made a big thing of it. And people like Nia Jackson switched, and you've got all these people switching
They've made
brands.
it into a January transfer window, haven't they? They keep
That's what I'm
saying
saying.
transfer
Yeah,
window. At least they're making more moves than FSG, so at least
yeah.
there's someone's
There you
doing
go.
something.
There you go, bro. They're making more moves than us, bro.
So you're going for Charlotte. I'll be honest. I think it's obvious to say. I think she'll win. I think it's just the build up of her return and her comeback as well, and
Yeah.
to kind of be the face for WrestleMania as well. And I think she'll probably go if she was to win. I think she'll go for Tiffany Stratton. I think that would be the champion that she'll want to face
Yeah,
in
because
WrestleMania.
Tiffany, they already dropped seeds for that on NXT ages ago because they were talking about former Tiffany Stratton when she was NXT Women's Champion, was
Yeah.
talking about going through all the women's champions. And she said Charlotte's
Oh,
name,
okay.
and then she name dropped Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch was like, oh, she hadn't been NXT champion. So then later on, Becky beat Tiffany Stratton for the title. So it
Oh,
was
okay.
good little thing that they
Okay.
worked there. You get what I'm saying? For the
So that
NXT
can work.
title, yeah. So we'll see.
So that can work. So okay. So I think we're on the same page in terms of the prediction. So we think
Yeah,
Charlotte Flair's gonna win.
yeah.
Now, in terms of the men's, what are you expecting in the men's Royal Rumble?
I'm expecting CM Punk to win. And I'm not going to
Okay.
lie, because I missed a lot of his title reign, apart from the pipe bomb and a couple other
Yeah,
matches. I'm not as high as him as my friends are that have never stopped watching wrestling. I was out the game for the best part of 10 years.
me too.
Um,
We spoke
and
about it off air
yeah,
as well. I
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
watched wrestling
I
for a
came
long
back. I
time.
came back in late 2016 after the only thing that I'd watched in that time properly. There was, I think, the main event was called Evolution. No, not even. No, it was Evolution that faced the Shield in a
Okay.
in a Falls match, and the Shield won 3-0. I can't remember what main event that was though. And then bar that, that was 2013, maybe that one.
Okay.
2012 or 2013 with the Shield. And then when was that WrestleMania 29 or 30 when Brock Lesnar beat Undertaker? I saw that. Otherwise, bar
Yeah, I
that, I
saw that
missed a
as
lot
well.
of wrestling in a 10-year period.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm not as high on Punk as others are that think he's the greatest
The guy, yeah.
because now
Same.
he's aged. He seems slow in the ring. You know, some of what he's going to say in these promos. He's going to say, "Isn't it great to be alive on a day here in insert the city that he's in and whatnot?" But I think Punk will win the Rumble, yeah, because since he's come back, he's got a big contract and everything's been centered around him. And the only thing I've liked about that, I didn't like him beating Seth. Um, but hopefully
Yeah.
they've got more matches together because the guy can barely move. Seth had to basically get a piggyback off of that, go on the ropes and hold on to them to go on his back for him to do the
Yeah.
go to sleep. Uh, but yeah, I think Punk will win it, and then it's up in the air who he goes for. But more than
It
likely, it'll
could
be
be
Cody.
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, more
Obviously,
than
the
likely
last,
Cody because he did. Yeah, they had a wicked segment on the last Raw,
yeah,
didn't
on
they?
Raw.
Yeah, so probably go for
Mm.
Cody. Yeah,
Oh, it's interesting. Um, I don't know who I'm gonna go for, to be honest with you.
I'd love Seth to win
Um,
it, but he won't.
did you say sorry?
I'd love Seth to win it, but he won't because Seth's one of my favorite wrestlers all time, bro. And I
Yeah,
just think it's only injuries that have stopped him from having more title reigns because the guy's too cold, man.
yeah. I would love it. This won't happen, but I would love it to be Jey Uso. But I don't think it will be him.
Bro, that would get one of the that would get a generational pop if Jey Uso won the Rumble, bruv.
But that's the reason why I would like him to get it because
The
I
guy
feel
is so
like,
over. He's so over, bruv.
yeah, the momentum that he has right now. Because with wrestling, if the crowd are cheering for the way they cheer for him,
Yeah, then they'll
you
change what
just got
creative
them.
have planned and put them in. You get then and put
Yeah,
them in a slot because all it's a business in it, so they want to sell merchandise. They want to
yeah.
get the socials talking. You get me? So
And I think it'll be the unexpected winner because I don't think most would even have him regarded as the winner. So I'm trying to probably think outside the box. I think he'll be the one that makes sense
yeah,
in terms of what he's bringing to the table because I feel like the momentum that he's got, like. he's the
Or
face of the company. Miles, I know Cody Rhodes is a champion,
yeah,
but in terms of what he's bringing to for the casual fans as well,
yeah, they've got all these rappers and whatnot coming out with him, so
yeah,
he's integral to what they're doing on
yeah,
Netflix at the moment. Because
yeah,
obviously, though WWE Network's always been there, and it's been on varying channels
yeah,
before that. Obviously, you're paying for because it's a subscription TV services. But having it on Netflix, everyone's got Netflix, isn't it? Nearly
yeah,
everyone's got Netflix. They're sharing it, a
yeah.
family thing or what.
And
So him,
it's easily attainable worldwide. Like
thank
most
you.
people are
So
having it. Exactly.
exactly, and easy to digest with it, just being there, click or whatever. So with him bringing all the rappers in there, as you said, and it would, and if they were to do it in a way and do it properly, um, where he, you think he's been thrown out of the Rumble, and then you
Mm,
think Cody Rhodes or whoever's won it, maybe even they would never do it, but I'd love to see Sami Zayn win it, for instance, right?
yeah.
But but they wouldn't do that. That's a risque kind of one, right? Where you
Mm,
think Jay's been eliminated, and then he comes back, crowd goes nuts, and then he super
yeah.
kicks someone over the top rope or
Yeah.
something like that. You get what I'm saying? They do it like that. That will be have people talking on the socials for days, bro. You get what I'm saying?
The
And
one I feel
then
like will get the biggest pop if he eliminates Roman Reigns. I feel like that would make
that
people go
would be mad,
insane.
bro. Because then that can start another little
It starts
thingy
another feud as well.
within the bloodline and prolongs
Yeah.
what's going on there. You get me? Yeah, yeah. Good point.
So that's
That's a
what I would like to see if I'm trying to think outside the box. But I don't know. I don't think it will come to that. So if I was to predict a winner, I feel like the same one, CM Punk was just too predictable based on the segment that we saw on Raw.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. Do you think there'll be any surprises in this one? Like, do you think The Rock might make an appearance, or do you think
Is
that's
it is
unlikely?
it, is it the men's one, or is that not going to be till next year? Is it one of these rumbles? It would be the men because more men than women. Going to be 40? Isn't it going to be 40 people or something like that?
Oh, is that'll probably be next year? I think that'll probably be next
I
year.
heard like this year. I'm not going to lie because of so much stoppages with these Netflix ones. I'll go out the room, or if I am up at that time, if basketball's on, I will prioritize the basketball. So I'm missing some of like what's going on. But I'm sure I heard that there was going to be a
Do you know what
40
I
people
saw online,
rumble.
which is a bit of a wild? I don't know if there's any truth. There's always things circling online.
Yeah,
I read that apparently that The Rock is going to enter as number 31.
and
So he's
number
just going to make up his own Raw and just come on to.
that would be hilarious. Yeah, people
That'd be kind of
people
cool
have
though.
been talking about that in the wrestling WhatsApp group I'm in as well.
Like he
That
just
would
made
be
up his own
hilarious.
rule because he
Make
owns
his own, he's the boss.
percentage in it.
Who can tell him that? He's on the board, bro. He's on the
He's on the
board. No
board,
one
isn't
can
it?
tell him that. No one could tell. No one could tell the Rock nothing. That would be hilarious if he did that.
That would be hilarious.
Absolutely hilarious.
You see any surprise sort of appearances from like an old wrestler or anything to that nature?
Um, Shawn, no, I don't know. I was going to say Shawn Michaels, but maybe not.
I
Um,
heard rumors of Ric Flair.
for real.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that,
But
but that's what I heard.
hasn't he had health issues the last few years? Would that be
Yeah,
wise?
but that guy don't sit down, man. So he's
Um,
do you know what I think they should do?
yeah.
They won't, but I think it would be quite cool. They should bring back Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Oh God. After the way he got
Based on what that reaction he got in the other main event.
that would be hilarious. But after the way he got booed in that
Yeah.
first,
But then
um,
he needs to build on that. Do you know what I mean?
that's
Just
true,
make
innit?
another
Because
appearance.
it's heat, it gets more people talking, and then obviously when
Exactly.
someone throws someone out, the raw will be like one for the
Yeah, that's
ages. You
what I'm
get what I'm
trying to
saying?
say.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. And it'll be CM Punk that throws him out as well. So, so
Oh yeah, punk,
that'll be kind of cool.
punk, that guy.
So you've gone for CM Punk.
Hmm.
Do you know what? I'm gonna go for another one that I feel like might be predictable, but I'm just gonna say it. John Cena.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If not Punk, it will be Cena, innit? But
I
it will
think
be
Cena
perfect
will
for the
win.
it will be perfect for the farewell tour and the way that they've
Yeah,
booked Punk. Punk would still be able to find a way to Mania anyway. But yeah, it would make sense if
yeah.
Cena was it. Gets a title match, has a reign. Wouldn't even have to be a long one. You could just hold the title for a month or two and then
Yeah.
drop it. It would be the perfect way to wrap things up.
There's
You get
no
what I'm
point in
saying?
having a farewell tour and not really have
Yeah,
any
yeah, yeah,
involvement
yeah. A
in the
title, at
event.
least one title match in it. It wouldn't make any sense. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm gonna go for Cena. This might sound like an unpopular. I'm not his biggest fan, But I think I didn't really watch him in his prime because
I
that's
seen
the
it,
period when
seen it.
I
No,
stopped watching wrestling.
but bro, the super cedar bit from if you go back and watch bits and just listen to people that never stop watching it, the super cedar stuff was crazy. He'd get beat up by 4, 5, or 6 men, and then he'll end up whacking them all up by himself. But yet you're seeing Roman Reigns just get beat up by two of the bloodlines just finished. Like it would just be Jacob for two and flipping Solo Sokoa whacking him up.
Do you
But
know
I
what?
see
I like Jacob Fatu, you know.
he's
I
cold,
feel like
bro.
they should I feel like they
He's
should push him this year.
Jacob
I
for
think
two
he's
is
good.
cold. That was why
Yeah.
I was annoyed that they took the tag team belts off of him.
Mm.
But
But I think
yeah,
they've got a bigger vision for him. I feel like 'cause he's a good talker as well. On the mic,
bro, these
surprisingly good.
promos are sick.
Yeah.
He defo listens to West Side Gun, bruv. Yeah, now Jacob is cold. He's cold, bruv. The crowd
Yeah.
when he comes out, so the crowd go mad. So there was one time on Raw a couple months ago, he come out um and because Jay was fighting Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
It was when I think it was the one when Jay lost the title.
He lost the
So
title, isn't
so
it? Yeah.
so Jacob was looking at Braun Breaker and the crowd were going nuts. Everyone stood up and whatnot. Like whoever you pair him with, like the
Yeah.
pop is crazy because the
Yeah,
guy
it
is sick.
is.
I didn't realize he was 6'2" at that height. What he's doing, bruv. And it's not like he's slim like that as well. Like the flips and
Yeah.
that. The guy's he's cold, bruv.
Nah, he's cold.
He's
He's the
cold.
crazy moves, moonsaults, and his finish is the one where he jumps on the ropes and then does
Yeah,
the
jumps
mist.
off the rope and then flick. Yeah.
Insane, insane. Nah, he's one to watch this year, man.
Oh man.
I think he's gonna break waves this year.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he's got the crowd on his side as well, and he's just a fiery character. I feel like
Yeah.
they feed off that as well, and they enjoy that sort of character on screen. So,
I love you, Solo.
nah, he's big. He's a character, man. But so yeah, so that's our little segment there for Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's not more matches that have been announced. So if there is, then obviously we
If
can
the-
do
yeah,
another one
if
next
there is, you might
Monday.
have to do a little shorts. You might do,
We'll do a follow up. If there is more announced, then we'll do a follow up. We'll do like a separate segment of this whole thing. So yeah, man.
yeah,
So big up to everyone for listening.
yeah.
Bit out of the blue, but I thought, why not try and do something different?
It's your pod.
Um,
You can do what the hell you want, homie.
exactly, man. Exactly. We
You
can we
get me?
can
I've,
switch up whenever we want to. So
well,
yeah,
I've listened to varying pods this week, and all sorts have been getting said in there. I listened to when I took a break on
yeah,
Wednesday. I listened to a bit of Big Six Bands, and they were talking about women, bruv. They were talking about like their prime milk, yeah, they're white women and that. And it got to a point where it got so risque. They started talking about cartoon characters. So it's your pod, bro. Talk about whatever you want to talk
yeah,
about on there, bro.
yeah.
Any
So
other
they
sport or
definitely flip the
whatever,
script.
do it.
Yeah.
You get me? Do it,
Yeah,
bro.
man. No.
Yeah,
If
man.
I've got you on the show, then we're definitely going to talk wrestling. And obviously, if there's the you know what? We'll do one closer to WrestleMania. How about that?
Yeah,
We'll do
can't,
the show.
whenever, bro. If there's more good feedback on it, you might have to do like a separate
If
little,
Jay Uso is, then we'll do a follow-up show.
little separate in little 20 minute to half an hour thing, bruv. You get me? So,
That's
boy,
it.
you get me.
Uh,
I've
we'll
always
def-
been looking to bring out. Obviously, we've got Footy Factory. We should have exploited because we've been on radio for like this is the 11th year of us being on radio. When we
yeah.
started doing filming little bits, we should have been putting that on the YouTube from time ago. But obviously, doing your other job, etc., and whatnot, we weren't thinking
Mm,
about that. And then, like, because we were before many of pods and whatnot, we were on radio repping it. So I've been trying to sort out my own channel from like 2020, and whenever people are going to bring it out with, they flop the thing and whatnot, all sorts would go down, bro. So I might still do it, but I've got more confidence in just doing certain bits by
yeah.
myself because people have flopped. But I've had to do a couple of radio shows by myself recently, or at least an hour and 15 minutes till one of the co-hosts have come in. So yeah, we'll see, man. But if I do the rest of the bit, I'll have Oz on and whatnot because
Yeah, man.
we're long time friends anyway. You get what I'm saying? We've known
Yeah,
each other from way back since we were
yeah.
teenagers. You get me? So boy, so
Yeah.
yeah, man,
Listen,
it's what
give
it
me a
is, man.
shout, man. Like,
Yeah, man.
I might have a little lapse of knowledge when it comes to the 10-year gap that I took, 10, 15-year gap that I took, but I still
I,
have the knowledge there.
I
You
was
know what I
out
mean?
of it for most of that time too, but obviously having Netflix now, you can go back and
You
watch
can
certain
catch up,
things now,
innit?
innit? It's just that you won't be able to watch certain rules that interlink between the
Yeah.
WrestleManias for the storylines, but at least you
You
can
get the
watch
gist
the
of it, isn't it? You do get the gist of it. So
yeah,
yeah, we can definitely man, give me a shout, man. But yeah,
yeah,
in
bro.
terms of what you're doing, look, keep doing what you're doing, man. Whether it's
Yeah, bro.
football content or if you're going to branch out to wrestling or any
Yeah,
other sports or anything like that, just do your own thing, man. Because I feel
yeah,
like shouldn't let people hold you back.
yeah.
Just do, what you want to do what you enjoy, do what you're passionate about. So yeah, man,
Yep.
big up yourself. Anytime you launch a channel, yeah, give me a shout, man. I'm there, so no problem at all, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning, everyone. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Um, Double D, as always, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Anytime,
Let the
bro.
people know where to follow you on social. Let
Anytime,
them
bro.
know where to listen in terms of your radio shows, and just
Yeah.
let everyone know what you got going on.
Yeah, man. Social, if obviously you can see it, if you watch on YouTube, obviously you can see it, but if not, for those listening audio, because you know, Aussie's on point, so it's on all the old audios that you can think of. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music, it's on Amazon Music as well now. Are you on Audio Boom too?
I probably am because it's
You
listen,
probably
on
are
all of them.
audio, all of them, right? But
Yeah, all the popular
yeah,
ones.
at Double D is me on all socials apart from on TikTok. I'm at Dub D, but I don't
Okay,
post on TikTok, so don't worry about that. But yeah, and all the
no
all, all
dance
the
moves
po-
or anything,
and
no,
all the socials that I do.
no
Huh?
dance moves or anything on TikTok.
if Sami Zayn wins the Rumble, I'll do a
Hey,
I'll do a dance video. People can
if
hold
Jey
his
Uso wins, you
laugh.
got to do the Jey Uso dance or something, you know.
But yeah, at Double D, that's DUBULDEE. That's DUBULDEE on all platforms, Insta, whatever. And I'm part of the D&D Football Factory, and we go live on Top FM on a Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to midday with the Footy on Top show. If you are not in London, it's probably best to download the On Top app because we're on TuneIn, but TuneIn has been doing some madness recently, and people haven't been able to pick up the show. So the simple radio app, or download the On Top FM app because then you're straight to the station and you can listen to any shows on there. Um, but yeah, on Top FM Saturday morning. We do podcast sometimes, not as much as we should. But we'll be back on it soon. One of the team's a Newcastle fan, and they've got their Newcastle pod out, 90s mags. So if there's any Newcastle fans listening to this by chance, listen to that. But yeah, man. So yeah, and we're at DD Footy Factory on also at DD Footy Factory underscore on all socials, and you can catch any of the radio little clips from the show, as well as we're D&D Footy Factory on YouTube, and you can catch little clips of the show and all like previous the radio show and all previous podcasts and whatnot. But yeah, every week we're about, man. And yeah, hit me up, man.
No man,
Hit
big
me
up
up.
yourself, man. Yeah, please guys, make sure you subscribe to uh D&D Football Factory. You can, as Double D mentioned, he's got his radio show as well, so make sure to tune in for that. Great football knowledge, as you can probably tell. Whenever we have a discussion, we never do 20, 30-minute shows. Our shows are at least 2, 3 hours. So that's when you know. And I'll be honest with you, we could probably go on all night if we
This is
really
what
wanted
it's not.
to.
This is really, we really could like
Yeah,
flipping. I can rant. I can talk about the highlights of being a Liverpool fan. I can rant and whatnot. You get me? So yeah, man. But we'll spare you because obviously
yeah.
it's almost 2 a.m.
No,
Yeah,
we have to kind of water it down just to like fit
but
in. Because I feel like with me, I try not to put a limit. So for
yeah.
me, it's like just let
I
the
just,
conversation
there's
flow.
no need to put a limit, bro. There's some people that are going on doing flipping 6 to 9 hour streams, but it's only because the family need to be taken care of. Otherwise, man will do bro. But next time you're off from work, holiday, we'll do an
Yeah.
8 hour stream.
Nah, we gotta do. We got now. We got a wrestling segment now as well. So we got more to talk about.
This
So
is what I'm saying, bro. The wrestling segment might have to come on the regular thing still. You get what I'm
we gotta
saying?
make it
You
happen,
know what I
man.
mean?
But no, big up yourself, Double D, for coming on.
Nah, always,
And
bro.
thanks to everyone for tuning in, man. Thank you to Abdul. Thank you to Ashik. Thank you to Nick. Thank you to GTV Football Channel.
Yeah,
Thank you to
that's
Amirali.
yeah,
Thank you to Daz. Who else
yeah.
do we have? Thank you to.
As
Oh,
Abdul,
apologies. Liverpool
yeah,
67 sent a comment earlier on. I didn't read it out. He said Klopp
that
was
was
arrogant
arrogant
and
and stubborn.
stubborn. Slot is deluded, thinking he can win the league with these fullbacks and lack of midfield destroyer. He will get not getting any defensive reinforcement in now.
Ooh.
Interesting take there. But maybe that's not what he wanted at that time. Maybe he didn't want those fullbacks to play the way that he. the creative fullbacks that we had was Robertson and Trent, and they were pretty much our creative playmakers in the team. So he
Yeah,
didn't go for traditional fullbacks. Then in terms of destroyer, even our team right now, I don't think Arnold Stott wants a destroyer. I think Arnold Stott wants a defensive midfielder that is pretty much a deep playmaker. That's why we went for
yeah,
someone like
yeah,
Mendy.
yeah.
He
So
doesn't
the
want like a
yeah.
destroyer as such because
In this day and age in football, that could run because, as we were saying earlier,
yeah,
um, don't get twisted. There's some games where you defo need it.
you
Some
need it.
like
Yeah,
isolated games you definitely need it. But because of so much on systems and whatnot, if you've got a deep line that can cover space and allow
yeah,
you not to get overran, as long as you stick the foot in, because Graver
yeah,
some size work rate, McAllister sticks his foot in a lot, always getting involved in duels, and Gravenberch is always trying to clamp people so you can get away with it. But I
yeah,
understand a destroyer sometimes last 20 minutes, take foul people, take the yellow card and whatnot, and just make sure
yeah.
we don't get counter attack on.
But you're better off having a player that has that trait in him anyway, and it's not his sort of sole principal role in the team because I also feel like with the way the game is playing right now, a lot of teams are playing with a double pivot. They're not playing with single pivot anymore. So
Yeah,
you don't really need that one guy that's a destroyer because back in when we used to watch football like Makelele and those type of players, that was a specialist role where that was what he was supposed to do.
yeah.
And even though I think his passing was actually quite underrated, I thought he was a good passer with the ball as well.
McAllister was a very
So
good passer. Yeah,
very good passer. So with that destroyer talent that people have, I don't think it suits every team. If it was a single pivot, then you've got your two number eights that can do the box to box element of the job. Whereas if you've got a destroyer in our Liverpool team right now, I don't think the balance will be right. It could work because we do play with double pivot, and it'll be where one drops, and then you've got like a Gravenberch going a bit more box to box.
yeah,
But then we can be a little bit predictable as well. So it can
yeah,
favor the opposition where they will know how to exploit us, where they know one is always going to drop and one is always going to be
yeah,
forward,
yeah,
if that
yeah,
makes sense. So when you have a double pivot where it's two players that are box to box or have similarities like McAllister and Gravenberch and McAllister,
yeah,
you don't know where they're going to be. In some games, we've mentioned it before, Gravenberch is further up a lot
yeah,
more.
yeah,
And
yeah.
in
When we
certain games,
played,
McAllister's a bit more. So
who
you're
did we?
presenting unpredictability
Yeah,
in
when we played,
ours.
when we drew to two with Man United,
Yeah.
McAllister was making the runs that I
Yes.
thought Curtis would
Yeah.
have made in that manner because obviously Somerset was suspended for that
Yeah.
one, wasn't he? And he could have scored when Salah played that great ball over the top. So yeah, we can mix it up, etc. But yeah, don't get twisted. Some league games
Yeah.
may even be for Bournemouth this Saturday, as we were just talking
Yeah.
about, a destroyer in there to just
Yeah. But
you
then
get what I'm
that's why I
saying.
feel like we need to utilize Endo because I don't think
Yeah,
Arsenal has done that in certain games where we've
yeah,
needed a player like Endo to come in for the last 10, 20, 15 minutes, whatever. And this add that still in the midfield where no one gets past us. You're pressing on them a bit more further because you've got a
yeah,
player who's actually trying to sniff danger. So for me, that's something Arsenal should do a lot bit more.
yeah,
But to be honest with you, I've been saying it for a few weeks, and he has brought in Endo quite a bit in recent weeks.
yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe and that's a good thing about Arsenal. I do feel like he does learn on the job. Like he
Yeah,
does,
he's led. Yeah, yeah. Remember, it's his first season. It's just because we've got high
yeah,
expectations now because
y-
Klopp took us from being crap to
yeah,
getting involved, winning trophies again, getting involved, winning the league, winning title races. So we're being when the season comes, whether we win it or not, we'll look at it and think sorts done
yeah,
really well. But because
yeah,
where
yeah,
we are now, it will be disappointing if we don't. Do you
yeah,
get me?
exactly.
If we don't get over the line, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And I don't see him being a stubborn coach. Like you've got certain managers in the league that are quite stubborn with their philosophy that they don't
Yeah,
change, they don't adapt,
yeah,
they're not going to alter their way of playing in any shape or form.
yeah,
It's just the same in every week in, week out. So you got to respect him as well that he's willing to change his game is really to adapt and eventually evolve the team going forward. So,
yeah.
like you mentioned earlier on, Double D, this is just the beginning. We're
This
still
was
getting used to his tactics.
that's what
So
I'm saying.
once we play full
Yeah,
flow, then you're gonna see a
get
different level next year.
get them
And we buy
contracts.
players as well. We hasn't bought players, so
That's what I'm
when you
saying.
buy his players, it's another ball game.
Get them contracts sorted and then cool. Unless they do a Madders and on the last day they say that Well, at least two of them, because Trent looks off have signed. That's the only way they can appease us with not signing no one. You get what I'm saying?
Mm,
Get them contracts done last day of the transfer window.
let's see. Let's see if they surprise us. But I'm not trying to have any too many high hopes with regards to FSU, unfortunately. Daz has said that Cody to retain the belt. So yeah, big up yourself for
Yeah.
your
I
prediction
agree. Yeah,
there. I think
I
yeah,
concur.
with WrestleMania coming, I don't see him losing the title. It doesn't make sense
Yeah,
for that to
but
happen. So
they might have something like Kevin Owens like injure him again or something like that. Though he
yeah, and he
lose the
takes a little
title
break and then
and
comes
he
back for
takes a little
WrestleMania or
break.
something.
Because that guy, he's even made numerous appearances in NXT and whatnot. That the work rate's crazy. As they said, since he's come back,
Yeah,
he's carried the company, bro.
it's true, you know. Because I
Carried.
think originally he was just supposed to be on SmackDown, but because of the new deal with Raw, he's actually been requested to make appearances on Raw because of the whole
Yeah,
new Netflix deal.
because that's
So yeah,
the
he's
bigger thing.
unfortunately the guy is doing overtime right now.
It would have
So
been interesting to see how it played out had he not got that pec injury. Because I
yeah,
know that to get him to sign after he fell out with AEW, Vince drove to his house to recruit him. So I think there was always a plan in place for him to finish his story. But
yeah,
I would have been interested to see how it ran with the injury. 'Cause I didn't like the fact he beat Seth 3-0 in the three matches, like after return.
mm,
The first one, obviously, when he got called out and then he beat Seth, I got that the first one at
yeah,
Mania. But then after that, I didn't like the fact that he beat him three times, like two other times. I don't think it made sense for the story. Like
yeah,
best out of three is only good if it's 1-1. You get
yeah,
me? And
yeah.
so yeah, you know. But
Let's see where
there you
what
go.
the next angle is for Cody
Yeah,
Rhodes. Obviously, looks like CM Punk might be the next feud that
yeah.
will happen happening soon. So yeah, we'll probably see a new rivalry coming up.
Bun punk.
Uh, Graham, big up Graham. He says it would be a big statement to record a comfortable win. It
Yes,
would
because
be.
Bournemouth are on job at the moment. So if we slap them,
Yeah.
people will realize, because you watch all these other YouTube stations, they're like, oh, I don't think Liverpool are that. And Liverpool,
Mm.
they're the top. It's because this team aren't doing that. We
Well,
set,
apparently. So, you know,
huh? What is it?
we haven't played them on apparently, if you
Oh,
ask some fans.
there you go.
You
Never
can't win.
played.
You can't win. You can't win with rival fans. We haven't played anyone, so we're still waiting.
Oh man.
We're still waiting. But yeah, it will. I agree with Graham. I think it will be a big step considering how great they've been and the way they battered Forest last week. Who, let's be honest, were the most informed team
Yep.
in recent weeks. So that would be a statement. But yeah, let's see what happens. For me, it's all about getting the 3 points. I don't really care how we win, as long as we get the 3 points
Yep.
and continue to bridge that gap away from the likes of Arsenal. Would you say City back in the mix, or are they more so challenging for a fourth spot? What would you say is your stance on City right now?
City, if they beat Arsenal, they could catch them because one thing at the moment with
Yeah,
City, yeah, the thing is with City is that they've had some games where defensively, even the games they've won, they've
they look
looked
shaky.
awful defensively. But even
Mm.
when they've lost, they create a truckload of chances in some of these
Yeah,
games that they lose. So they tighten up a bit at the back
yeah.
because I'm not expecting a plethora of clean sheets. They'll tighten up a bit at the back. If they take 3 points off of Arsenal, they can catch them. You get
It's
what
a
I'm
big
saying?
game this weekend.
They could catch them. But the advantage Arsenal have, since they've got some injuries, is that they finished in the top eight. City have now got to go in and play their playoff. And then I'm sure if they win, the opponent that they can get is Real. Oh, no, sorry. Actually, I think it's in the playoff. They're going to play Bayern, Real Madrid, or someone like that,
Yeah, yeah,
if I'm not
yeah. You're right.
mistaken. So
Bayern or Real Madrid, I think it was. Yeah,
So you're going to have to go full strength in that. And this is the
mm,
advantage that we have of finishing first in the thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah,
well, it's meant to be the advantage. We could still play PSG. I think we could beat them, but the whole point is that you would have hoped for an easier tie with the
yeah.
fact of coming first or second. We've done all that work and we
Still got
could
a
meet
strong team.
someone that you like, come on, man.
Yeah. PSG, do you know what? I feel like they're a strong team, you know. I feel like they're not depending on
On
like the
individuals
stars
anymore,
like when they
more
had
for teams.
Mbappe.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
which makes them more dangerous.
yeah. They're playing as a unit. It's not about stars. It's not about
Yeah,
one person doing a thing. It's about, working as a collective. And I feel like they've got a good balance now. The likes of Bakola, Osman Dembele as well. He's
yeah.
cooking right now, the way he's banging in the goals.
Nicola,
Kvaratskhelia,
from Leon. When I saw him at Leon, I'm like,
yeah.
um,
I
yeah,
wanted him. I was very impressed with because he can play on both wings with complete ease as
yeah.
well. So he's a
He's a,
talented boy,
yeah,
man.
he's a baller. He's a
He's
baller,
a baller,
Bacola.
man. Someone we,
Kang in
let
Lee.
one good one for
They got some
you were
decent.
linked to him as well. You were strongly linked to him a
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
of years
yeah,
ago.
yeah, yep. They got some good players, man. Players a team, and they'll improve. You get me? They didn't turn up against Arsenal, but they made up for it with. Well, I said didn't turn up. They just weren't clinical. They had chances, but that City come back. Like yeah, they're progressing. They've realised going that big way is not the way to go, and obviously offloading those players off of their contract gives them more money to be able to get some others in. You get me? So it's one
Yeah,
of them ones there.
that's true. I just got a final comment here and then we'll close the show. Nick says, I think this is prediction for the whole week. So
Oh,
he's
he's got
got
all these
Spurs,
predictions. Yeah, okay.
Brighton 1-1. So he's gone for 2-1 Newcastle, 2-1 Everton, 2-1 Ipswich, Bournemouth 2 Liverpool drew. So he thinks
Ooh.
points. Not on see 2-0 to Villa, 1-0
Against
United,
Wolves,
Brentford
that's a beat
2-2
Wolves.
against Spurs. Spurs are all over the place, to be honest with you. So I don't even know.
City to beat
2-1.
Arsenal 2-1.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that one. And then 1-0 for Chelsea. So let's see how well you do in terms of your predictions. And that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Double D, thank you as always for coming on. Take care,
Anytime,
everyone.
bro.
No, appreciate it, bro.
You
Appreciate it
know.
as always, man. So yeah, take care, everyone. Hopefully we get the win. So yes, I'll be back on Saturday. I'll be doing a watch along for this one. I was doing a watch along for the PSV game. I kid you not, Double D. I was struggling to stay awake.
Bro, the game was. That's why I said I ended up turning my head because obviously it's one of them ones where I know obviously that they would have to win and we lose for them to for them to get finished over us. So I was keeping tabs on all the other results just as much as I was watching the match because there were periods of the game where we were just going through the motions and
The second half was
PSV were
brutal.
being hella complacent, and
Yeah,
even their manager has cussed them afterwards for taking Liverpool lightly. Because I'm telling you, if we had not that we needed it in the end, but if we had a
yeah.
couple of the other first teamers on the
First
bench,
team players,
we
yeah.
would have dealt with these men, bruv, because they were taking their piss, bruv. You get me? I know they wouldn't have recognised some of the names that were playing, but like you're going on
I
like
didn't have any senior
European
players on
teams,
the bench, so no, it didn't even make sense. So yeah,
you get me?
yeah, that game was a struggle. Like
We should have taken Rio. We should have taken Rio and let him go twist them up.
he would have cooked as well. I think he was cooked when you play
Expose
that
him to
game.
the European thing early. It will only
Yeah,
improve the boy. It will only improve the boy. You get me?
no, I agree. We should have brought him on, but
Because the dribbling
hopefully
is
he'll
there.
get some more occasions this season. Maybe the FA Cup. We've got the FA Cup coming up soon,
Yeah,
so
Plymouth. Yeah, he definitely has to. He should be starting that. You get me?
yeah. So hopefully he gets
Yeah,
some game
or
time
at
there.
least get
So
half hour off the bench. But yeah,
yeah, even if it's
yeah,
half an hour, or even if he starts, because even if he started the last time we played
yeah,
against Accrington Stanley,
yeah.
so it could be a shout where he plays. So yeah, hopefully he gets some game time. Play with huge potential. So yeah, be future at the club. But yeah, that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.
Yeah.